number 3, and we wanted to highlight here Noxy,
no,
and Curly. So these guys are pretty underrated,
Niz,
and it's crazy to think
when we
how
play
well
it,
they've
and we're
done when
gonna
they
just
formed, right before
so
plays,
good.
Kelly.
Hopefully,
I think just like we said, they've only formed a week beforehand, and that's what makes their run all the more impressive. In the Group 3 stage, we saw them take the Game 3 win, but in Games 1 and 2, they actually got 4th place in both of those games. And today, not only are they going to be uncontested at Kappa, but they also have a few contested teams near them over on that southeastern side, which can only be beneficial to them. My one concern for this trio, though, is that depending on where the zone pulls, they do have some pretty big names landing near them, and that might cause some issues.
It could definitely cause some trouble over there. The thing that I liked about this trio when watching their group stage games is that they were one of the very few teams, and I kind of like talk about this a lot
can you hear me?
when it comes down to taking the high ground. They were one of the very few teams that were able to take high ground during 9 zone and actually hold it for the rest of the game, picking up just a couple of refreshes as well. A lot of teams struggle with that, and this is one of those teams that can actually pull that off. If they're able to get up on the high ground during one of those early moving zones, they could win a game.
Okay, that's fine. Hey, that's good. That's good news to hear. Let's have more people to fight Peterbot. Yes, we like that.
Guys,
we want more of that.
Enjoy.
Let's keep this ball rolling.
I'm just
3
gonna let
big
them
names,
talk
it's like
and
a 1,
stuff,
2, 3
so
punch.
hopefully
Okay, you ready for
enjoy.
this? Agers,
I'll be back.
Acorn, Poyo. That's right. Big names that I'm just kind of used to and like have been saying for so many years. But what's crazy about these guys is like just the accolades alone, Kelly.
Yeah, they are tied for the most FNCS titles out of any trio in NA. They have the most amount of they have the most FNCS appearances, but they're also the most titles out of anyone in NA. I mean, you have Poyo reigning global champ title, of course, Acorn, who has back-to-back wins in Major 1 with Cold. So everything is kind of lined up for them. On paper, they should have a very successful game, but during the group stages after their win, they almost seemed, I don't know, indifferent about their win. And it would be really interesting to see how their vibes are going to be affecting them this weekend.
Yeah, vibes do play a big part, right? When you have 3 people together, you need to kind of be on the same page. And, talking about those group stage games, I even talked about it last weekend when we were kind of watching them. I swear their early game and their mid game in both of their games, because they got 2nd and then 1st in their games last weekend. It was like, yeah, the early game, they didn't really look like they were in a good spot. And then the mid game, they didn't really look like they were in a good spot. And then they got 2nd and 1st. So I'm like, okay, well, they can do well when it seems like they're not really in a good position. So I'm kind of excited to see if they can kind of switch that up this weekend, actually get into a seemingly good position. And let's see what they can do with that.
Okay, all right. One last trio to talk about is Kanata. It's Rapid and Bolts. Viv, you really got me going last time when you said do Ragnata. That really made me laugh. That really broke me. Once again, we're back on the shoulders of Kanata, right? Who refuses to miss an FNCS major finals.
That's right.
The question is, could this be the one, Kelly? Could this be the one?
It's interesting going from Poyo's trio to Kanata's trio, because I feel like they're kind of 2 sides of the same coin. Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts looked borderline catatonic when they first teamed up during the Div Cups and the Eval Cups. But since taking that first win from Group 3, they have just had a completely tonal shift. This is the Kanata, the very passionate individual that we know of him. And I don't know if it's like a Sailor Moon transformation. Once he puts the do-rag on, he gets all these powers. But they honestly look like they could easily be one of the top 3, if not 2nd or 1st place team.
I mean, ever since like kind of like the turning of the do-rag, I guess you could call it, right? They've just been performing so well. Even that performance eval that happened in between last weekend and this weekend, there was only really 2 big name teams that kind of showed up and got a win during that. That, of course, was Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. And then, hey, Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts also picking up a win there. So between last weekend, throughout the week, they look really good.
Okay. Now, that's good. That's good. So obviously we have to dedicate some amount of the show, right, to talking about Peterbot.
We do.
Ritual and Cold, because just how dominant they've been as a trio. And I feel like a good way to do this is kind of talking about Storm Surge, right? Like a lot of trios, they tend to suffer with Storm Surge, and at times can be difficult to manage, but these guys are kind of like Storm Surge who?
Yeah, exactly right. They kind of just like skip that whole point of the game. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it actually required in terms of damage needed throughout the group stages, looking at averages for that, right? So, end of zone 5, 850, end of zone 7, 1300, end of zone 9, 1800. Kind of keep those numbers in mind, because the thing that I want to talk about the most when it comes to Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual is how fast they actually deal with some of those numbers. We actually saw them take a early 3v3 fight. Now, of course, some of the best players on your team, you're gonna want to fight other teams because you know that you're going to be able to pretty much just roll them over. Now, of course, Peterbot does get knocked, but you got Cold on your team to kind of come in, clean that up, and a 3v3 like this is just going to net them so much damage, Kelly.
Yeah, and it just showcases too that even with Peterbot down, Cold regularly during, the Kitch analytic posts, he has a higher damage, a better damage ratio than Peterbot himself. So even when your top fragger goes down, it's not just the Peterbot show. All three of them, including Ritual, can clearly get elimination after elimination to handle those storm surges.
Yes, let's go ahead and take a look at that damage done, right? Like, how much did that fight actually do for them? By zone 2, so pretty much, they've only kind of done one thing at this point in the game. That's that 3v3. 1,200 damage done. And if you remember that number that I showed just before, the amount of damage you needed was 850 at the end of zone 5. They are zones ahead of that threshold, right? And if they are actually zones ahead of that threshold, Kelly, well then, guess what? They don't need to worry about it at all.
Yeah, being able to the mid game, it seems to be a struggle for a lot of our teams, especially when they have to deal with Storm Surge, they have to tower up. But when you already have the damage done, you can kind of focus on the end game.
Yeah, focusing on the end game is really, really important, right? You actually set yourself up for end game in the early game, which is kind of what they do here. And, because of all that damage done, guess what? They're like, well, we have all the damage done. And usually to do damage, you need to be by players, but we don't need to be by players. So why don't we go ahead all the way over to the west side of the map where nobody's going to be, and make one of those classic dead side rotates that we, of course, love to talk about. This is super, super cool in trios, right? Because it saves them so many materials. When you think about trios, you've got 3 people on a team that can pretty much beam you at any point in time, which means that you kind of need to preemptively build. You usually spend a lot of builds, right? Staying away from a lot of trios. As you can see, your northeast side of the map as well, very, very congested. They're on the complete opposite side. They know that. They played Fortnite for a very long time. But look how healthy they are, kind of just sitting over isolated. 150, 150, 150, like 15 masks on each of them. They haven't used anything so far throughout this game because they do not need to go near any other players.
There, bro. We ready
to
to
go. They got all that damage in.
And also, if they do use their masks, they can just go back to Flooded Frogs because no one's willing to touch them, and there's so many elemental chests over there that they're bound to find another.
Yeah, they're just set up so well. Not only, all the confidence that they have themselves, but how much respect they get from other players. Let's go ahead and take a look at what they actually looked like then when they took the high ground. Because like I said, they're setting themselves up to take this high ground early on by taking that 3v3. That early 3v3 allowed them to kind of stay isolated, stay very, very healthy in the materials. And when they took high ground in this game, 80 builds, 86 builds, 51 builds on Cold, still some Void Max charges left to kind of make some plays, kind of a TP across some of those high ground layers. This just set them up so well because, like I've mentioned multiple times, right? High ground taking it early on like they just did, it's hard to sustain that with the amount of materials you usually have. But when you're going into endgame with 150 on each one of your players, you're going to have enough to hold it for the rest of the game, just like Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual did in that one.
And it doesn't matter at that point if someone else is on the high ground because they will either find a way to absolutely decimate the low ground or take high ground for themselves.
Okay, so right, these guys are really, really good, right? But let's kind of quantify that with the data we have now, right? So they did really unbelievably well in group 1, right? But there's 2 other groups that we're missing. There's all of these other trios that we're missing in this equation, and now all of those trios are coming together on one bus. Can they look to do what they did in group 1 in a Major 1 finals? The setting is completely different.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the question, right? It's always like what everybody kind of points to. It's like, oh, well, yeah, they did well here, but hey, listen, this is FNC's finals. It's going to be completely different. And I feel like sometimes we kind of try to say that, right? And then Peterbot, Cold, Ritual, look at the caliber of players that we're looking at right there. They're going to be able to do it. I guess maybe the hardest thing would be to justify the 3v3, them being able to roll the team just strictly over in a finals lobby. But Kelly, we know how good they are. I think they're still going to be able to do it.
And I just want to reiterate again, it's all three of them that are absolutely the top of their class. Both Cold and Peterbot, easily the two best fraggers in the entire region, if not the world. And then Ritual, who is an incredible tarper, an incredible IGL. He is able to set them up for success time and time again in these games. We saw how well he's done on LAN. We've seen how well Peterbot has done on LAN. You know, Cold now going for the three-peat of winning Major 1. Everything is being set up for their story this weekend.
Whew, okay, I like that. This is quite the pedestal they've kind of put themselves on. We didn't do this. They did that themselves. As we continue the conversation, though, let's take a step back and meet up with our casters. Give them a big warm welcome. It is Jacob ER and Monster D-Face.
Thank you, Zeke. And yes, there's so much to talk about. Finals is here, Jacob. Finally now, everything we've been working for all these weeks, we get to see unfold.
Yeah, 5 months since we last crowned our FNCS champion. And these contested drops is going to be really, really grueling for teams. But I think even Aminish said it, contesting, sometimes it could be a blessing with how much surge you're able to get out of the gates.
Yeah, so to really set the stage, couple teams we're going to be looking at for early game fights, potentially. Noah W plays versus Oliver OG down at the bottom right of the map here. This is at the Hopeful Heights. And another team I really want to talk about, Jacob, Skittles and G Money. They're going to be clashing, going head to head. We all know Victor V. We've grown to love him, especially in the last year. But G Money has had a great uprise as well.
Yeah, over at Magic Monsters towards the north side of the map, those are two aggressive teams, and they have a ton of experience collectively to battle it out. I don't think that's going to be an easy drop for either one of those teams to really come out on top. But Monster, there's 12 games. You just have to figure out a way to win the majority, maybe 8 of those off-spawn fights.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how it's going to work out. There's a couple of battles going down. We're excited for what's going to unfold here at the finals. But of course, we got Zeke to take us through the rest.
Thank you guys so much. We'll be back with you shortly. First, okay, so we kind of talked about Peterbot, right? Okay. And we framed them as this powerful trio. We kind of gave you stats and breakdowns, but like, who could dethrone them? We feel like it's Vidil, Sphinx, and Cooper, right? And we kind of want to set this up in like a similar data-driven point, right? So Viv, you kind of walked us through the Storm Surge and how Peterbot and his trio were kind of looking. Maybe do the same with Vidil. Like, what are we looking at here?
I mean, every trio is going to be different, of course. Cooper, Vidil, and Sphinx are obviously going to approach the game a little bit different than Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual are. And I feel like we can kind of hit home on that very, very early on in the game, right? Just we talked about, oh, listen, Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual, they're going to go for some early elims. And Cooper, Vidil, and Sphinx, as you can see here, by the damage done numbers, they're kind of not, right? I mean, by zone 2, 291 damage, by zone 5, 951, right? They, of course, have their points in their game where they get a lot of damage out, but it's definitely not in the early game. And I feel like it's really easy to kind of see how well Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual establish their Storm Surge damage. If we just go ahead and strictly compare probably the two best trios on the region and see what that damage kind of looks like. And Kelly, it is quite the difference.
Yeah, you can see just a little bit of a difference there by zone 2, but as the zones go on, they definitely do pick it up. And I do want to add also that in the early games, Sphinx, Vidil, and Cooper haven't had too many contesting trios around them, but during this weekend, as long as if no one changes their drop spots, they actually have 3 separate contested POIs around them, which might give them a little bit more Storm Surge by zone 2.
Yeah, definitely some opportunities to kind of switch it up there. And, like we mentioned before, Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual kind of isolating themselves on some of those dead side rotates. They're not going to be getting much damage dealt there. So, by those later zones, Cooper, Vidil, and Sphinx, they're of course going to catch up. It's just going to be a different approach to the game. Of course, if Cooper, Vidil, and Sphinx aren't getting a lot of early damage like Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual are, they're going to need to keep themselves kind of involved with the rest of the lobby. They're going to need to see players on their screen if they're going to be able to actually deal that damage. So they're going to play completely differently. And I think that's awesome when we take a look at the personalities amongst these trios. So let's go take a look at where Cooper, Vidil, and Sphinx typically kind of place themselves amongst the rest of the lobby. As you can see here, they're kind of on that east side of the zone. And if you remember from the same game earlier, that northeast side, extremely congested. Cooper, Vidil, and Sphinx, they know that that's going to happen. So they're going to place themselves very nearby. And yeah, Kelly, I mean, they're still in a good spot, but all of these builds, they're going to need to use a lot of these, right? Because they're amongst the lobby.
Oh man, also the group stages that they played, I swear every zone was a mountain zone and having to deal with that. But even with the, rough situation that they were put into, they got second place against Peterbot's trio. So regardless of if they have that early engagement or not, they're still always able to turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, they do an incredible job kind of managing all of this stuff here. Now, of course, the differences in the play styles, right? Like I mentioned, since Cooper, Vidal, and Sphinx, they're going to be putting themselves in the rest of the lobby, right? In that mix, they're going to have to spend more of those builds. So, of course, they're going to have to end up with refreshes at some point in the game, which is what I really like about this trio. They always kind of find a way to find those refreshes. But something that kind of works for them the best, it's of course going to be that front side low ground of those moving zones. And shout out to Sphinx, he does such a good job of putting them in good positions. But as you can see here, Vidal, Sphinx, and Cooper ahead of the rest of the lobby on this moving zone. And this works so well for them because, again, kind of the point here being, they're going to have less builds than a team like Peterbot, Golden Ritual. They have to spend builds because they're constantly throughout the early, middle of the game, they're next to the rest of the lobby. They got to block off all that damage. So when they get to these types of positions, Kelly, they got to get the eliminations. They got to get the refreshes. And that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, like you're saying, sticking to the front low zone is so smart, especially when they know that there's going to be players dropping down to them. They're able to just clean it up, shooting fish in a barrel right there. And it's all three of them that are really just taking control. Even though Sphinx is doing a majority of the tarping, he's also able to get some eliminations himself.
Yeah, he does such a good job right there. And I kind of like to coin this as like a momentum-based play style because it's like, well, if they don't get any of those eliminations, then they're probably going to end up going down shortly after. So there is a lot of importance on putting themselves in good positions. And Kelly was kind of talking about it right there. How are they getting into those good positions? And honestly, a lot of that heavy lifting is going to be done by Sphinx. I couldn't actually believe the numbers when I went ahead and took a look at it because I was like watching their games and I was like, wait, Sphinx is kind of tarping a lot for this trio. And as you can see here, in terms of placing the builds for the trio, Sphinx himself places almost 50% of all the builds that this trio places, just at 46% right there. So very obviously getting handed a lot of those materials that they are getting from those refreshes and using them to tarp themselves into good positions to what? Get more eliminations, that momentum-based play style.
That is so crazy. And we even heard during the interview with Cooper that him and Sphinx were kind of arguing on who's going to be the IGL. I'm for certain that Cooper is feeling good about the choice of Sphinx taking that role now.
I love it. Okay, it's them, right? They'll be the ones to stop. Okay, we don't actually know. We're moments away from game number one. Wow. So let's just talk about expectations. It's here. We'll have 6 games today. And something to note is we don't have that 1.5 times multiplier tomorrow, right? That has been removed. So day one has to be big. We really have to put on and set ourselves up good for day number 2. So what do you guys think? What are you expecting to see?
I hope to see it be a close game, especially after today, but we know how dominant Peterbot, Cold Ritual have been in these finals lobbies, and with eliminations going from 3 to 4 points, it's kind of just setting themselves up even more. But it's Fortnite, it's the FNCS, truly anything can happen.
I feel like the sentiment from a lot of people that are going to be watching the games this week, and they're like, yeah, listen, we want a close game. We hope that Peterbot, Cold Ritual don't run away with it. And I don't know about you guys, but last year when I was watching Fortnite Competitive and Peterbot and Polly were running through the competition, I was entertained. I'm down to be entertained again by a dominant performance out of Peterbot, Cold Ritual. Let's see the best of what they got.
And honestly, that's fine. If they go out and they win and it's another 1,000-point victory, like honestly, I'm fine with that because there's 2 spots going to globals, right? So even if they take up one of those spots, there's still a second spot we are still fighting for. So we'll see. It is that time. Prepare yourselves. 6 matches today. Game number 1 is ready. So casters, take it away.
Thank you, Zeke. It's one thing to be a professional commentator. It's another to be a fan and get to watch this in the front row seats, Jacob. I'm excited for finals. It's going to go down, and we know we're going to have a great competition.
No, it's definitely going to be amazing because we ever get to see a dominant performance by Peterbot, or we get to see one of many trios really take that shine, take the throne, and upset everybody that's thinking that he's going to take that first place spot. And Monster, I think this season, there are actually quite a few duos that can actually do it.
Yep, well, the battle bus sounds like it's ready. Let's jump on in for game number 1. All right, Jacob, the major finals is here. I'm ready for some action. Our trios will be taking to the world here shortly. We talked about teams that will be getting into early game battles. Apparently, there's word of some surprise contestations happening early on as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. Let's see if everyone's all talk or if they're going to back it up.
Yeah, the drop mad was almost just like a placeholder. Things can change in the blink of an eye when players don't feel as comfortable. But we look at our team international, Yapko, Muzz, and Rise. Not too many changes going on around them. They get their drop spot uncontested, and they have a lot of space to loot up early on in this game, grab their materials, their loot, and if they don't like what they have in terms of heals, they can always fish for it as well.
Yeah, that is true. This is a wonderful drop spot. Huge location that they have all to themselves. It does beg the question, like, why would someone give away that much territory? But here's the fight that I'm most interested in today, how things are going to perform here. You really have to give super credit to Noah W Plays, DC, and Chaos Gaming. They played a phenomenal qualifier, just kind of leading into it, really shining in the form of consistency points and making end games. And then you have Oliver OG. He's only gotten better over the years, slowly, really working hard, and have earned himself a spot amongst the best. This will be a very interesting clash because, as you know, most teams that get contested don't perform well overall.
Yeah, and it looks like they're just taking a slower approach. And I like how you mentioned their top spots and consistency. In Group 3, this was first and second place on that consistency leaderboard, earning their spot here. And they're taking a much slower, more strategic approach to the overall off-spawn fight. In fact, it looks like Oliver OG, Skater, and Dash are able to keep Hopeful Heights for themselves and kind of push Noah, DC, and Chaos off towards the outskirts, which isn't too bad for Noah and his trio because there is a lot of loot that you can still gather for out there. So it's not a done deal just yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, there are benefits of having the outskirts, especially if a team was contemplating smashing on South and trying to get a little third party going. But over at the Canyon Crossing, it does seem like this fight might be looking to break out. A little different here for 20, Void and Broken, who, of course, kind of inched their way on in. It seems like Power Police and Listen, they'll have a bit of a better, I would say, standing so far, given that they have a lot more shields working. But again, this is the finals lobby. Notice how slow things are going right now, right? Everyone kind of pacing themselves here, just really looking to get situated before they make a move.
Yeah, I could just kind of feel the energy right now, Monster. I know we're kind of at home, but if we were in a stadium, I could feel the crowd erupt just for watching and being able to see this team right here. This is a chance for Peterbot to really recreate history.
This
and
is
for
crazy.
Cold as well. He has 2 years worth of Major 1 victories along with his former duo Acorn, and this is his chance to go 3 straight years, Monster, while winning Major 1. And
If
that's
Peterbot,
something
there's
like
Cold,
very
there's
few
Ritual.
players
We're just gonna
individual can
watch
say
it,
they can
see
achieve.
who can win this.
And to put it into
Okay, I'm gonna stop
perspective, when you
talking and
think
let them
of
talk.
Peterbot's dominant
Let's
reign,
go.
the fact that Cold was able to have the entire community still keep him in discussion and not just look at Peterbot as the one-man army, right?
Oh,
running
there's
things
a-
on NA really
there's
puts
Rapid
things
and
into
Nada
perspective
there.
of how good Cold really is. Here's another team that is actually looking
Rapid
to
and
do
Cold
big things
and,
here today. Rapid,
Bolts.
Bolts, and Kanata. We really didn't highlight too much, I should say, coming into things, how Kanata was kind of thrown into this team, right?
Yep.
Originally, this was not his first choice, but he has ended up here, and so far he has managed to make things work.
Yeah, and there was a big question mark over the dedication of Bolts
Glad
and
people-
Rapid for quite some time. Are they going to focus on getting this win? They have a lot of other things going on in their life. And I think when Kanata came over, yeah, there might have been a little bit of a speed bump, but
Rituals
since then, they've been
and
they're
Ambush.
metal to the metal and just
And-
taking
oh, they just
off.
took
And
out
already
Bucky.
You've seen Midges, Vigils,
took
and
out Bucky,
Braids
one of my
rotate over
guys I
towards
like.
Foxy Floodgate. This
I like
isn't
Bucky.
the contested fight we
Bucky,
thought we were going to
Ocus.
see,
They used
but
to be
a
an
couple
agent
of weeks
together.
ago,
I
Monster,
like
this
that.
was a contested fight on the drop
Now they're
map.
gonna push
Bucky,
them.
Ocus, and Craze versus Visuals, Braid, and Aminish. I don't know what caused them to switch up their draw spot over to the Rainbow Fields, but you can see it's already working out for them, and they're returning back to the spot because this mountain towards Foxy Floodgates is one of the best mountains you can get because it's close to the center of the zone, and no matter where the zone pulls, you got perfect rotation for it.
Yeah, and already they're kind of winning the drop here, but look at
There's
this.
Zeus
A
getting
huge clash going
beamed.
down right
He
now.
just
Zeus
took out Drew
already in the
Bot.
scramble here. Team's extremely hurt. However, they have the advantage given that they got a couple of eliminations so far. Can they get the full finish here to have Siphon kick in is the real question, as the other teams are now looking to collapse in. It does seem like they get just that.
Yeah, this was that crowded Magic Moss's fight. It's the teams towards the outskirts moving their way in, but you see in the outside, Chimp, Skittles, Victor V, they're closing in. This one's getting a little bit messy. And Possessed, Ralphie, Diego plays a team that qualified through the groups out of consistency while being surprise contested as well. So this is a situation I feel like they're all too familiar with.
Quicks is here, guys.
Very interesting that all of these northern teams have decided to collapse just here by the pump power. If you look at the drop map, these teams have their own mini battles happening, and it seems like their strategy was to rotate into one another, but instead it caused a huge combination of a fight going down right now. You can see Victor V's trio just lurking on the outskirts right now, trying to see where they can kind of get in on this battle. Everyone's sort of slowing down, looking at really recover here, if you want to call it that.
Like and subscribe if you haven't already.
Very limited information, I would say, for Victor V and the rest of his trio as far as how many teams truly are here. I don't think they really realize.
Yeah, they
in the
outskirts,
three
teams directly in that position, maybe even a fourth scattered around, and then they would be the fifth. And I like how slow they're actually taking this approach, because now they're giving themselves so many options. They're not directly in the fight. They don't have to worry about a team just turning it on and kind of trying to burn them down in a couple of split seconds.
This random stuff.
So they can kind of position themselves, farm up, wait for the action to break out, and then finally make their move. They're not kind of forcing their hand here. And you got to imagine that's got to be the experience that we've seen, at particularly as Chimp and Skittles, with the amount of finals appearance they have, and then Victor V continuously learning and growing from all his teammates.
Well, one thing's for certain, the more early game clashes that go down like this without eliminations, the surge damage threshold will begin to rise very quickly. This can cause cascading problems for the rest of the lobby. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, Cooper, Vidio, and Sphinx right now looking to base up amongst one another.
There's Oliver OG over here too.
Somewhat into Oliver OG's team, who came straight out of the Hopeful Heights. And so far, nothing big has come out of this. However, they have wasted a fair amount of material, a couple of Void Oni masks. So you can see that Cooper, Vidio, and Sphinx might have been caught off guard here.
Yeah, and you can kind of see what Vivid was talking about, a slower approach to their game plan in terms of collecting the surge. They want to make sure that every rotation that they make, they're not getting caught off guard by a lot of these teams, even if that means letting one of these teams overtake them on that rotation. But with the zone starting to begin to close in, they're going to have to make their way forward. And since they realize every single team that's currently positioned around them, they're feeling comfortable just taking their time, going step by step. You see they're not just trying to beeline it to the zone itself.
Nice shots there by Ronin Dash as they start to back out.
There's
Another
Curly.
Team rotating from the outskirts.
There's
Curly
Booga, Threats,
from the
and
pump power
Aviv.
as well, playing
Booga, Threats, and Aviv on the high ground in the surge
Meanwhile,
space,
we get
guys.
a little update here for Booga, Aviv, and Threats now.
They say
Seems like
this
they're
could be
collapsing
Booga's
in on the
last
third party
final, so he's going to
onto
try
a
to make
team
it
that
as
was
good as
fighting
he
here.
can.
Oh, shots given
And
in
also
the
tomorrow,
details.
guys, I might not
So
be
they know
able to
something's going on
stream,
down
so
low.
just,
Little did they know the fight's already finished. Breed's visuals diminished, come out on top.
that'll be cool. But...
Yeah, basically kind of
All right.
take it down. Two members
Oh,
of
hi.
Ocus and
Hey,
Craze.
Schoolio Crunch.
They're just kind of
How you
bleeding
doing?
right above them.
What's
and
up?
It's just
I'm doing
a very,
good.
very
I'm
hard
just
situation for
watching
Booga
FCS
even
Grand
Threats. They
Finals. It's
can't
getting
necessarily
crazy. One of
drop
my
down there
fan
and try to
favorites,
go on the
Booga,
offensive because they
not
don't
Booga,
know. There's so many nooks and
Bucky
crannies where
and
those players
Ocus
can
have
hide down
been
below.
taken out,
So
I
they're just
think,
waiting
in
for
his
that
trio,
moment. They
their
heard the
trio.
fight finish.
I'm not
Hopefully
sure
they
about
come back
Quicks.
up the zip line,
There's
and that's when they
Booga,
try to
Viv, and
strike.
Threats
As
right here.
time
I'm not sure
continues to
about
pass,
Quicks,
they gotta
Batman,
realize that
Booga,
this
and
timing is
who is
wasted
their
right now, just
last?
waiting for
I
that
don't
team.
know.
So they're just kind of
Because
positioning
I think
themselves
Rise is on
on
a
this
different
mountain that I
team.
talked
I
about
don't
early
know.
on in
They
the
haven't
game.
showed him yet.
What a
so
huge awareness
I'll
check for them to
We'll
know,
check in
wait,
soon.
we can't just give away our tower. And the call was correct. You have Curly and crew inching their way up right now.
Oh, shoot. There's
getting ever so
Edgy here.
closely.
Edgy.
Soneto, Scare,
Here.
Veer, a huge
Scare and
team to come
Centaur.
out of the qualification. I believe it was week 2.
Who
They played
wins?
so well.
I don't know. No, I don't know. It's the
consistent, and
first
just kind
game,
of appeared on
dude.
our
I don't know
radars
yet.
out of nowhere as a team to look out for. They've only gotten
I
better
don't know.
as the months have
Well,
gone
it
by.
depends
Right
on
now,
how
they're
many
going
points
up
they
against
get,
the
how
Vats
many
of
wins,
Edgy, Violet,
everything, all
Quanti,
placement
who've come in on
eliminations,
the skin of their teeth.
all that.
How do we think
There's
this is going to shake up?
Bias.
Now, I think it's going to be a big
Quanti,
shakeup here for a lot of
who
these
used to
teams
be
because this is
an
one of those
agent.
rotations
I
that
like
you kind of
Quanti.
saw
He's
and
cool.
Vivid talked
He
about.
can get a
Buffalo
little bit
and South.
overthink
Both
because
these
of a lot of
teams are
controversy
kind of
that
meeting
he's
in the
been
middle.
through.
One went south,
But
one went
I
north.
think
They're
he's
trying
a
to
cool
take the slow
competitor.
approach,
He's good.
and they really get caught off guard by this exchange. You see an empty slot
Sir
on
Edgy,
Soneto. Material
Cento
being
is trying to
missed.
get
This
into
is one
Bias,
situation they want to be in,
Edgy,
but whoever wins
and
this trio will have a huge refresh.
yeah,
and
Bias,
really give
Edgy, and
themselves
Quanti
surge
box.
and positioning
So
to the zone.
we gotta figure this out.
Well, they've been
They're just
thinking
watching this battle
very
right now. Only have
similarly
2
for the
teams have
rotates
gone
as
down,
they've
and 10
kind
people
of
have been
found
eliminated.
themselves
Only
collapsed
3.
here on the
Yeah.
outskirts
So
inside the
that's
storm.
crazy. There's a lot of, there's a couple solos still up.
Loadout here as far as sustainability
Couple
is concerned.
solos.
And I like how they're playing these side angles. Scare's got the perfect angle right now to really
Scare,
get the pressure
Verb,
off
and Sento
onto
is
Quanti
still
and Edgy
pushing.
right here
They're
from the low
still
ground.
shooting at
You
him,
have
bro.
to be
They're
careful.
relentless
There it
right
is. They're
now,
gonna want
guys.
to get with one another, make sure
That's
they
crazy.
cap off their HP, keep their shields
They're still
and
fighting, bro.
for the battle, and there goes the three-way split once again, all looking for separate angles right now. It's exactly how you
Quanti
want to
gotta get a peek, bro. You gotta get a peek on him. Watch out.
Just continue, just kind of suffocate.
8 people in. Appreciate you guys for joining. Oh my god, like and subscribe. Appreciate you.
Trying to back up the
Appreciate
heel,
you
but the pressure is
guys
on,
for
the
joining,
the box,
bro.
and they take him down.
Appreciate
He's gonna be the
you.
first one dropped out of this fight.
I'm just
Viloc
watching the
with
NA
Defago,
day
bringing it
one,
down to a 2v2.
FNCS
Quanti
grand
and
finals,
Edgy
bro.
trying to survive it. It looks
Oh.
like Quanti has no choice but to
They
try to
just they
disengage.
took two,
Edgy
one
goes
out,
down
one
as
of them
well.
out.
A
The
mistake
two
that
top
will
at the
haunt
top.
them for the rest of game one.
Scare, Veer, clutch it up. And
Scare
although
and
they
Veer
lost,
just
none
took
of
him
them
out.
do find themselves 2 eliminations and plenty of damage
Oh
here.
shoot.
Talk about
Quanti I
a
think is
team
still
that you
alive,
have
but they
to
got
put
away.
respect on.
Scare got
And
a
I gotta say,
here's
I'm
Spinks,
very
Video,
impressed
and
for them to have
Cooper
won
here.
that battle there.
thanks for
But
Deer
the
and
fight's
Cooper.
not over.
They're healing
This
up in
is
the
just
water, I
game
think,
number
or
one
they're
right
fishing.
here. Teams are going to be learning how
But
the
they
games
have
are gonna
not showed
sort of
clicks yet.
unfold,
Where's
where
clicks,
players
bro?
have decided that
I don't
they're
know
gonna
what
make
clicks is.
their
There's
strategies
Hour
that
for
rotates
OG,
based for
Skater, and
Surge.
Dash.
So we're going to see much more of that as the day continues. Meanwhile, Sphinx, Cooper, and Vidil, what a bad situation they found themselves in, continue to be slammed, almost sandwiched between many, many trios here. And the material count is looking very light. I like that they're trying to fish their way back into this game here. However, it is not looking good for this trio.
Yeah, it's almost one of those situations, Monster, where you know as the game continues, if they don't find any resources that are left behind because you know it's going to be all looted, they almost might be forced into a refresh situation, having to find elimination sooner or later. Possess, Ralphie Diego plays as a team that we saw in an early skirmish. What was it, a 4 or 5 team scuffle at the top side of the map? They immediately made their way out towards the south side of the map. But I still think they're worrying just a little bit about Surge. There's 89 players still left up in this game. Surge is going to be one of the more disastrous things that happen to some teams that might not be prepared for it.
Yep, this is what we expect.
Bro, they
though.
will not
this
show
is how
clicks,
finals
bro.
lobbies typically tend to
There's
shake up.
Prez, there's
A lot of
Drubot.
players,
Drubot
especially
got
from
taken
game 1
down.
and 2, tend
There
to
was
stay
like
alive.
it was a trade, but
Surge
he
does
got
trigger
his
relatively
team got
early
him up.
and will cause a lot of chaos on the map here. Possessed, Ralphie Diego recognizing just that as well, so they're looking to force their hand here, get into a fight. I like that they're taking action now before the warnings start to get issued to the lobby here. This is definitely a sign of a team that is experienced in these types of settings. And it's Clixie who's on the run right now.
There's Rapid.
Meanwhile, looks like the island's just come up. Who's going to be the first
Oh,
to go
there's
for
Cooper.
it? Two
Oh my
teams
god,
are
so
on
many
the
people
way
are going
up.
up on the island.
Ritual,
Rapid just got taken out. There's Cold Ritual and Peterbot. Oh my god, they have the high ground. They have the high ground. Oh, Vive is up there too.
Trying to fly up in the sky.
Oh my god, there's so many teams going for the island right now. Holy smoly, guys. This is be a crazy on the island. Peterbot is a favorite right now because he is such a good team with Ritual, Cold. There's Havoc, Degenerate, and Sandman. There's Mason, Deontay, Chance, and Gyro. There's so many people on the island right now. They're all battling for that spot on the island. They get that medallion, all that stuff. No one has gone down yet, which is surprising to me. I do not know where every other team, because there's
taking straight
it's
into
crazy,
another
guys.
team's hands here. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual have to make a decision quickly now, as they haven't picked up any eliminations, and you know it's
that
very
Havoc
telling so
Handman.
far.
There's
Of
Cooper.
the strength of the
There's
lobby,
Cooper,
right? We all
not
knew
Cooper,
that
Bolts,
Peterbot
Rapid,
might
and
have taken a fight early on against
Hanada.
the trio nearby, but it seems like that didn't end up working out in their favor. Meanwhile, Bolts, Rapid, and Kanata right now, only 230 damage above the threshold. It must be
There's so much shooting from the
extremely
other
high,
side
given that we
now.
saw them
Somehow,
kind of in early
okay,
game
it's 2
clash.
people have been
They're not
revived.
content with this high ground spot. They want to get out of here. Too many teams are up top.
4 people
Seems like
in.
they're
They
going to be
appreciate you
the
guys.
first to go.
Yeah, and not only that, but from what we've seen throughout the group stages, we can even throw the play-in stages, watching a couple of these streams, is this isn't the easiest place to get Surge for a lot of these teams, especially if you're down below. But Ritual, Peterbot, Cold, they did not take an early game fight, but they followed teams around to try to get their Surge early. They're 533 above that damage threshold, really setting the tone and the pace. And you see how passive they're playing. I feel like they're almost waiting for another one of those teams to either disengage off the island or
There's
start
Kawanchi
the boss.
somehow
When the boss
still
gets
alive.
started, you know there's so much destruction and chaos to the builds.
These
I feel
two
like
guys
that's
get
when they're going to
taken
try to
out.
make a move.
Or he got him back up now.
Prime opportunity to take a fight.
Natter and Storm.
Quanti, Edgy, and Byla, even though they got into that little skirmish, you can see that the pickup was good for Edgy and Byla. Quanti getting them back in the game. However, they are still below the surge. Now, there are shots happening just on the edge of the zone here, so you should see Quanti and team get a little bit active here shortly. However, I'm wondering, is that his team actually? Is he's the furthest behind right now? No,
there's Okus there.
Like
I think Okus might be a solo because Bucky went down, and I think his other teammate went
Power,
out.
Polis, and Listen.
He's got to be careful. Okus has got to be careful because he's a solo right now, and he's in Storm. He's getting teleported on.
Looks like Okus might be back in the game. Trying to see if I see any of his teammates nearby because it was, I believe, Bucky and Craze that went down very early on.
Oh yeah, Craze went down.
Can he get the reboot? That's going to be the big question. Luckily for him, it's finally leaving away from Foxy Floodgate, from Powerless and Polis.
Quanti got taken out.
Further and further below the threshold. A big shot like that from Powerless.
Agers took out Quanti.
Pressure, but you can see it's not
Agers,
going
Polo.
to be enough. Still,
Okus just got taken out.
The splashes, the heals from the team, but they have to start getting
Okus, my brother, just got taken out, bro. They didn't have a good game. Bucky, Okus, and Craze, but it's okay. It doesn't look like Clicks. I haven't seen Clicks. I don't understand what happened to him. Did he even get into the first game or not? Just Polo just getting someone out, taking out Edgy in the chat.
Look at that. 3 eliminations.
Noxy taking out someone. I'm gonna let them talk. There's Bolts, Kanata. Where is, bro? Where's Clicks, bro? Someone tell me where Clicks is, bro.
From one another, also fishing for damage right now. You can see
tell me, bro, because I don't understand
of this surge as well.
What's happening to him.
Very hurt.
Polo taking out Bayet.
Starting to take place here.
Bayet is on Quanti's team, so
right on the edge.
I don't know. Wait, it was Quanti. Edgy got taken out. That means everyone is out in their team.
They've been able to claim from the top of Demon Dojo on the mountain all the way down to Pumping Pipes, almost into the
Rapid, Bolts. They're trying to get ready into position, bro.
They're not going to be able to get as much surge. They're going to have to go on the hunt for it. And if things don't go their way, exactly this will happen. Below the threshold, on the hunt, trying to find some heals. The rest of the team still trying to find the shots that they need. Kanata finding an opportunity to backside the zone. That's Mason. That's Chance. That's Donnie. But they're still below. Even with opportunities like that, they still have to find more.
These shots
Rapid Bolts and things, they're still below. They need to get these tags.
Shots right now. They're giving them
Fred
the damage he needs,
Nut just got taken out by 1A Sales.
No, here's the problem. You have Bolts fishing up for heals.
Oh, there's Click, my brother with Yamso and Batman Booga. They're battling.
Getting active right now. Also below the surge. They're going to find elimination.
Click, bro. Oh my God, take him out, bro. Let's go.
Into the mobs. They find him as well. And this is
Clicks, bro, get those kills in, bro. Stop playing with them.
There it is. It's going to keep them alive and healthy now.
Let's go.
Water sprites are down. And what a close one for Clicks, Iamzo, and Batman Booga there, as they were nearly sent back to the lobby. And what a refresher as well. So much material being picked up here.
Oh no, and we finally tuned back in. Bolts
Rapid and
Kanata, Rapid both out.
Bolts are still alive, but Rapid and Kanata are down, bro.
But instantly back down below. 9 gets ticked by 1, but it finally turns off, but immediately back on. That just goes to show how grueling and stacked this lobby is. I think from here to the rest of the game, it might not even shut off. So Bolts knows proactivity is going to be key. He has to continue to look.
He needs to keep trying to get those beams because he's down. Surge, he's down 131. Surge down, bro. No cap.
Bolts says, you know what? I gotta get closer. I need to get in the action right now. Otherwise, I'm going to get sent right back to the lobby.
Needs that surge
now. A little bit of a refresher.
He has to get an easy pump shot or something from below. Or from back, bro.
He wants to play the range game, but notice he put metal down. He's going to have to end up working through that. And instead, he starts looking towards the opposite direction here. But
there's Steve up top. He's going to try to get those beams up there, but he could not hit a shot. No W plays just went down.
You can definitely just kind of put him on the clock. 145. That's about like 5 good shots
finals,
with that
Peter,
Ritual, but no one's really getting an opportunity. Metal, it's even hard to break through that to try to get what you need. On the other side of the map, you see in Storm Surge really dictating a lot of what we're seeing here today. Ritual goes down. Peterbot and Cold only 42.
Oh, Ritual went down.
Ritual went
down. Oh, shoot. Ritual down. Ritual down. Victor V in there.
Without risking it all.
Threats just took out someone.
It's Chimp who finds Ritual there. Victor V's trio set up and find the full elimination. Peterbot and Cold forced to actually back off here, and they're going to retreat all the way back up to the high ground, but No, a shortcoming there. Couldn't actually get to the island, so instead they have to work their way around.
Cold's
Cole
getting
left
beamed.
solo now.
Ritual down.
Up
Cold
he
and
goes
Peterbot
here.
are in a
This is
bad
full-on
scrimmage right now.
refresh
They're
back to
betting
the
up.
loop
No
that
one's
they
on the
left
island with
behind
them.
here
They
on
beam
the
them.
island. A very smart and tactical retreat here. However, they will have to play this out as a two-man team. Talk about and you know, you just never know what's gonna happen on a final stage. If you could have told me that Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual will be in such a desperate situation come game one, I'd say you were lying for sure.
There's Polo, Acorn, and
reason,
Agers,
though, I
Yamzo,
don't feel
Clicks,
too
and
worried.
Batman
It's
Boogle
Peterbot,
over there.
it's Cold. It's two of the most
There's a good
individually
teams
skilled
right
players
here,
that
bro.
we have
Okay.
in this game right now. I feel like if anybody can make it work
There's
as a
still
duo,
19
it is
teams
going
up,
to be them.
53 people.
But a team that qualified
53 people
after
in the
getting
game,
a
19 teams.
reboot in the group stages from
19
second
trios,
place to first.
50.
Agers, Acorn, and Poyo. Some
I
of
don't
the most
know if they're
experienced
all.
team in the
There's
lobby
Clicks,
in terms of
Clicks,
NCS
Yamzo, and Batman
championships. One of the things that we
getting
saw in
over.
that group
Clicks just
stages
took out
was they were
Skittles in the
struggling
chat.
a little bit
Skittles
when it came
is
to
down.
serve that kind of dictated and forced their hand in certain
Good kill
situations. But
for
it's great
Clicks.
to see
I
they
didn't
learn from their
see.
mistakes. In
They're-
Zone
the
7, they're
Sphinx, Cooper, and
271 above that threshold.
They're in there.
And a team that's not
There's
too
Blake.
far off.
Oh, Blake got in. I
Sphinx,
didn't even know
Cooper,
Blake
Vidal.
was in. I think it's Blake Rising.
Looking like they need to
Muzz.
get absolutely active here. A
Wait.
full-on fight breaking out right now. Jackpo,
What team
Muzz,
is
and
Blake on?
Lies
I didn't
getting
know
into
Blake
the
was
box
in
of
there,
another
bro.
trio
Blake
there.
in there, bro.
Talk about
Somerset, I think
chaos
they broke up,
unfolding
but
right now.
That's
And
beside
the
the
feed
point.
starting to light up here to really reflect the danger
Yapko,
in the
Falcon,
lobby.
Yapko. You got Acorn. Skatecorn just took out someone. Skater just took out someone.
Two different teams losing players.
Oxy
Team
just took
Donnie,
out someone.
Sphinx,
I
though,
think it's
IGL
Muzz
team
Rising.
with 167 blows
Blake.
of damage threshold. There's a
I
lot
think.
of pressure.
I'm not totally
for him
sure,
to try to
guys.
figure
If
out
you can
what
tell me
is
your
the
chat,
game plan,
I don't
especially with
know.
one of the farthest pulls in the
Yapko
lobby.
took
Now
out,
you
just
add
took
on
out
the fact
Cooper.
that it's active
Shadow
surge.
Cease
Cooper
took
just
out
got
Shadow.
taken down because of it. Now it's up to him and Vidal. And by the
There's-
looks of it, they do not
Oh,
have a lot
shoot.
of resources to heal this.
Oh,
7
no.
seconds
Oh, no.
left,
They're below.
25 HP.
Bing
He's
is
looking to
below
try to
with
hold this
Vidal.
spot, hold the line,
Cooper,
run
Vidal, and
HP in
Sphinx are
dreams.
below. One is
Vidal
1
has it as
HP.
well.
Curly
They're
just
getting
took out
pressure
1.
from all around.
Noxy
Sphinx
just took
goes
out 1. I
down.
mean,
Vidal
Vidal is the
only
only
took
one
2
alive
hits,
on
but
their
now he's
team.
above the
40
damage
HP.
threshold. He just
He's
needs
gonna
to
beam.
figure
He's
out a way to
dead.
survive. Out of
Shoot.
materials, out of time, they go down.
6 people,
I
bro.
was gonna say,
Appreciate
very
you guys.
valiant
Valro,
efforts, Sphinx to
G,
go for the
Skater, and
trade.
Ronnie.
The
Or
tags
in
there
Dash.
to go ahead and give Vidal
Zeus,
just a moment
Falco. Oh,
away
here
from
we
the
go.
surge.
Peterbot
However,
Cold, bro.
it was just a matter of time.
They're
before
going
the
for
rest
they're
of the
going for
lobby caught up.
Havoc,
Fully healthy
Sandman,
now,
and
Peterbot
someone else.
Cold jump up to
They're
the
on
high
height
ground
right
here.
now.
This
They're
is
on height. They're on
I would
height.
say an act of desperation right now to put up the
They're on
flex.
height, bro. No cap.
Really have the mats to hold this out. However,
There's Clicks right there. Yamso,
they're
Batman,
best out,
Booga, and
trying to
Clicks.
look
They got
bigger
3
than they
kills on the
really
board.
are
No
here,
cap.
and avoiding
Good job
damage
for
on
them.
the low ground. Clicks, Yamzo, Batman, Booga. Here's my favorite team, I think, to take the weekend. Situated very, very comfortably here.
Oh, it's Yapko,
This mid
Blake.
game right now, or actually, I
Oh,
should
there's
say
Code
the
and Falcon
endgame
on
as
top.
we're
They're trying to beam
starting to inch our way
Yamzo, Blake,
towards
and
it.
Yamzo, Batman,
Starting
Booga,
to
and
get
Clicks
things
at
back under control
trying to
now
take
from
him
the
out.
ground.
Zeus, they just got a
This is
kill on
usually the stage
Zeus.
of the game where really everybody's kind of going through battles down
think
below.
maybe
They don't really have too much
Tony
time
just
to look up,
got
and
in
that's
the
a blessing
air.
for Cole
Yeah,
and Peterbot.
Yapko just
As
took
soon as a
down,
duo
or no,
trio sees
Peterbot
it,
just took down
usually they're actually
Zeus.
trying to make a late game play. You see
Booga
a
in
lot
there
of
when
their
took him
resources
down.
being
Noxy,
split
Clicks,
between the
Yamzo,
two
and
because
Batman
they don't
Booga
have a
there
lot left.
looking at
And that's where you see in peeking
Crouch
through the cone,
sketch
Clicks
it,
is seeing that
searching
as a
out
sign of
Cold and
weakness. We
Peterbot
can
up
see
there,
a potential
up in
Clicks
the
and
high
Yamzo
ground right now.
Batman
They
Booga
might have
high
to take
ground
him over.
retake.
They might have to take it
Oh,
out.
what a play would that be? They're eyeing
Clicks,
things up and trying to decide as
Yamzo,
they're
and Batman
the
Booga
furthest
might try to
team
take
rotate
height
here.
away.
Plenty of charges
Peterbot
left in the Void
because
Only Mass as well.
Ritual
So they're not
already
gonna
got
have a
taken
single
down.
problem rotating through the rest of this
There's
endgame. Meanwhile,
Yapko,
Cole
Ryan,
Peterbot
and Muzz. I don't know
only
what
have 2 or
team
3
Blake's on.
charges up top.
Because he was with
So a much different story, but
Mount,
Clicks, Yamzo, Batman, Booga
Markiplier
land
before.
themselves in a world of
Markiplier,
trouble here. Teams everywhere
Matt?
forced
I
to
don't
go
know
through
his
their
name.
heavy
Okay,
mats now.
Clicks and
The call comes to get up
Peterbot
off the
Cole
layer.
just took
Batman
down
Booga's the
someone.
last to jump up, but it seems like they have now gathered
Yapko,
themselves
Ryzen,
a moment here.
Jackpo
Jackpo, Muzz,
right here.
and
I'm not
Vijo
sure
are
about
running things on the
Blake.
low ground. They seem to have
Blake's- I
this
think Blake's
fully
still
under
in.
control at the
I want to
moment.
see what
Yeah,
team Blake's on.
36. It's not a huge feeling confidence for
Polo,
Storm Surge, but they
Agers,
know at
and
this stage
Acorn
of the
took
game
out
it's going to be
someone.
more than enough.
About
Agers,
Victor
Acorn,
V.
Poyo, they find another another elimination, and they move to the front side of zone, and you kind of notice they're staying away from that ultimate low ground. That's where the chaos, that's where the desperation comes in from a lot of those teams trying to scrape together any bit of placement points.
Crazy to think there was about 5 teams that were really the favorites to take the weekend away.
Rise took out someone, Yapko took out someone.
Gonna make for a very interesting game 1 here in the coming moments.
It's getting crazy. Gyanzo getting in. Gyanzo, Batman Booga getting in on Batman Booga, Gyanzo, and Click getting in on someone. They're trying to target the height. They're getting beamed by Booga and Beeb and Threats. I think Beeb's out of the game.
Booga still alive right now. working their low ground
Egan
spot.
just took out Dash and Oliver OG.
That kept him in it to get him to this
Sales
stage.
and
Seeing
Encrypted and all those people. They're
They're
getting destroyed. Polo in there. Agers, Polo, Acorn. Agers, bro.
Looking like they will
Getting
not
going
be
crazy
stopped
right
at any
now.
opportunity in turn. They take down and bulldoze through every trio in front of them.
This
Blake
is
just
crazy.
got took
Big
it.
set of eliminations there.
Just got took it
7
out.
for
Let's see
Agers
what Blake
and company.
sees in
Meanwhile,
Yapko.
somehow Peterbot
Clicks,
and
Yamzo,
Colt still
and
have
Batman
high ground,
Booga.
but for how much longer? Clicks has turned his attention up to the top here, and they're putting a little bit of pressure down. You can see.
Okay,
this is
Colt
one
just
build.
got it.
They're completely
Colt
out.
just got
Colt
an
gets knocked
update.
down.
He will go
Agers
for
goes
high right now.
Boyo and
It's
Acorn
getting
have it
crazy.
now, and they're
Peterbot
building up,
thick's still
and it's
alive.
fully secured here.
No one is going to be able to
I
stop
don't know
them.
if Peterbot's
Here
alive
on
or
out,
not.
the zone's getting
Peterbot's
smaller.
still
Peterbot
alive.
by himself,
He's
180.
180.
He has
Oh,
the
he's trying to
medallion.
beat
That's
Clicks
gonna
and
be the whole
Yamzo and
behind.
Batman
That's gonna
Booga.
Clicks, Batman
He
Booga,
has the
Yamzo
medallion, so
leading
no
the
one
way.
can really
He's trying
see
to
him.
break into
He's
a
trying
target. He
to
doesn't really have any
stay in
options
storm.
outside of the
He's
zone.
trying not to
Last
get
is
spotted.
His only chance to heal, to try
He
to
just
stay
deemed
alive
Encrypted.
inside of the top
He
seven.
getting the
Almost
surge.
brought elimination onto Encrypted. If he can get this, he can.
He's
That
gonna
Cypher
triple
keeps
kill.
alive.
Insane.
He's going
and the
crazy.
fact that he
He's
just
getting
can't be
43
seen
HP.
here
He's trying to
because
get out.
the medallion keeps him invisible. Look
He's
at
got
him
behind
go.
right.
And off to Rise's layer he goes as well. Look at
Oh
him,
my
just
God.
working his way up and
Holy
down,
smokes,
sneaking,
just took down
threatening
Threads.
everyone nearby. Another elimination, and
Peterbot's
is
going
starting to heat
crazy.
up.
It's feeling of deja vu.
Oh my God, he just took out Yamzo.
Again, Yamzo goes down. This is why we call him one of the most dangerous players in the
Clicks
game.
was right
Clicks
there.
narrowly escaping, almost getting taken down, but Peterbot's not done just yet.
He just took out
He's getting
Clicks.
cracked. He finds another one on the Clicks. Can anybody stop him?
He took
He
down
is
Peter.
still
It's Batman
going
Booga. Batman
single-handedly,
Booga. Clicks
keeping
and
his
Yamzo
team
out.
in the game
Oh
now.
my
And
God.
just like that, a top 4 position. But let's turn our focus to
Holy.
who can win this game right
Agers,
now.
Polo,
Boyo,
and,
Agers, Acorn
Agers,
in
Polo, and
control
Acorn
of
on
the
high ground.
Looking
He
to
might
work
be able
their
to
way
take the
towards
victory
10
out.
eliminations. There's still 2 teams left.
Yapko
They're fully healthy.
took down
Yapko's
Agers.
gonna get one in Agers.
Yo,
He's the first to fall.
man.
The trade happens.
Muggs just
and
got
it's all
hit
going
top.
down now, Jacob. It's up to Muzz here. Can he clutch it up?
Muggs
That
just
was
hit
only two
Acorn
of the
out.
three
Oh
trios
my
down
God.
below. They went through
Polo
unnoticed.
no
Down
eye.
goes Muggs.
Polo and
Polo's trying to
Acorn.
drop down from
They're
above.
going for it.
Acorn's already
There's
there,
still
taking a lot of
three
damage.
teams. There's
He's
still
gonna get
3
trapped.
guys, but they just
Polo
knocked them
by
off.
himself. Can he make the heroic play? He knows some of them
2v1.
are weak. He's trying to take
2v1.
advantage, but
Polo
out of the
needs a
round.
2v1.
That's gonna be a minute. Braid from down below. Visuals
He just
there
got
as well.
ambushed.
3v1, but Boyo's
He
not
just
gonna
go for
be stopped.
Fizzle.
Down goes a Minish. 9 HP. Finally making it into the zone. He's trying to let the Storm do his work for the Siphon to come into play.
Very smart play right there. He's going to heal up. It's all up to Visuals now. And it's going to come down to a single shot. Boyo
Yeah.
does
Oh,
not
yeah,
miss.
Visuals. Oh, my
That's when it
God.
matters, and he will win.
Polo
Game
won
number
it.
1.
Peter got forked. His old teammate Clicks got bent.
I thought the clutches were over. First Donnie in the group stages, then 20 in the LCQ. Now Poyo on the biggest stage in the Major 1 finals, showing that
Jeez,
this
bro.
roster change for him
It's
was
getting
worth
crazy.
What a game. And then for everyone to put all the focus on the other teams, you start to forget who Boyo really is, what he did all of last year. There's a reason his name has been amongst the conversation of the greats, the best on NA. Take a look at Acorn Agers
Oh my
and
God,
Boyo's
look at this, bro.
highlight reel here come the end game. What a clash. What a game number 1 as this stage was truly set for us here.
That was a good old classic situation of Peterbot popping off and his former duo just said, anything you can do, I can do better. In the tightest of situations, 8 eliminations for him, 14 for the team. We know who's in first place, but see, Kelly, Vivid, what did you think of that madness?
That was crazy.
Oh my God.
Peter got clutched
That was
up.
game number. No.
Oh
No.
my.
No. A game that I thought I really believed for like a moment, like one moment that like Peterbot was gonna solo clutch that game. Like I really did for like one moment believe. And to have Poyo come out and win game number 1 is like crazy poetic. I mean, guys, 14 elimination victory royale in a setting where the best trios are on one bus. And I just watched that.
That is serendipity
That was-
if I have
that was
ever
crazy.
seen it.
Oh
To
my
have
gosh, I'll be right
Peterbot's
back.
incredible solo run be outplayed by his old duo mate Poyo, going one after another, having Agers go down on height. Poyo then a solo having to drop down for the 1v2. That's just game number 1, Vivid.
We could probably, you know, Zeke was like, you know, we could probably talk about Peterbot for the whole entire pre-show if we really wanted to. I feel like we could talk about this game for the rest of the show. There was so much to kind of break down, but it just came down to the clutches. I mean, that, of course, is going to steal the highlight. Pollo, what an incredible job. Jacob caught it. He knew he had to wait for the siphon, letting the Storm do the work there. Finally letting that siphon come in. Had the confidence to take the fight over. Wow. NA. Wow.
I am shocked. Okay, I am just, I don't even know. Okay, look, we're gonna go to a break.
Yeah, we need one.
When we come back, we'll have collected ourselves. I will not have, and we'll talk about what happened in that last game. Stick with us. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the FNCS. I thought 3 minutes was gonna be enough time.
It was.
I'm still.
God,
I just
insane.
cannot believe what a statement game we just watched from Pollo, Agers, and Acorn. 14 elimination victory royale. A solo clutch from Pollo. That is a clip for the ages. Oh my gosh. That was just game one, Kelly. That was just game one.
I don't think I can handle this. I don't think I can do 5 more games, but I'm going to have to, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy that this is what NA is bringing us. There has been so many doubters out there being like, oh, NA is going to be boring. Well, they've all shut up now, okay? From game...
Agers, Acorn, and Pollo in the lead. Visuals, Braids, Ambush. Rituals, Gold, Peterbot in third.
And also in second place, Visual, Braids, and
Yapko
and
Rise in fourth. Clicks, Batman, Booga, and Yamzo in fifth. Death,
place
Sales,
in
and
Game 1
Encrypted in
is
6th,
definitely setting
Havoc,
themselves up for
Legion,
success,
and
but
Sandman
of
in
course,
7th,
Peterbot's
Aviv,
insane
Bugha, and
solo
Tourette's
run
in
with
8th,
it is what
Hepco,
caused them to get that third. Course,
Hepco, Crazy, and Dummy in 9th, and Oxo, Jojo, and Yiki in 10th.
I mean, yeah, first and foremost, had the confidence to actually go. Up to the higher ground, and they held that for the first 2.
Peterbot went crazy. I'm not even gonna lie. He beamed that one guy, took the other guy out. He went for the double kill there. Only got one of them there. But then went again, went after threats, took him out.
I honestly, my jaw actually hurts right now because
and then he took out Yamzo, took out Buranda.
I don't know if that's
ever happened. Yamzo trying to get his first ever thing. If Clix wins, his whole team will get their first ever FNCS Grand Finals win.
Like this medallion in the game,
and I hope they can do it. But Peterbot's gonna make it so hard for them because he
advantage of that.
He just went off. I'm not even gonna lie. He went off, bro.
I mean, he was climbing on things. I didn't even know it was possible. I was like, oh my god, he can do that.
Yes.
Yeah, Peterbot is just insane.
I mean, especially if you put that medallion on him, right? Just running without any slowing down right there. And it literally had to be a trio to stop him. But when he saw all the stragglers, and that's really what they do well, is picking off player by player where they're kind of off by themselves. Just huge props. They are in 3rd place right now, but that is just game number 1. But just look at the big names we have on our leaderboard. Muzz, Yapko, Rise, right below them in 4th place. Clix, Batman, Bugha, Yamzo in 5th place as well. I mean, all of these trios right here are just top competitors, but of course, we have to talk about Clix, Yamzo, Batman, Bugha, going from 200 below Storm to getting 3 eliminations and then 400 above. Being able to recover when you're in shambles is such a key element to success in Fortnite.
You know what, Kelly, I'm going to go ahead and run away with your point right there and say, heck the conversation about Clix, Yamzo, and Batman Bugha for a second. Storm Surge in general. I mean, we were jumping from some of our top name teams to the other one, to the other one, to that one. They were all like below. And we were just sitting there, we're like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Game 1, maybe we got some stuff to figure out here. But yeah, everybody seemingly struggling with Storm Surge right there, right? Like Cooper, Video, and Sphinx, probably the biggest ones. Like
30 seconds to match 2.
Crazy
Clix got took it out of 5th. He is 5th on the leaderboard.
Some of these teams,
Clix has a good game. He can jump into
yeah, I mean,
Peterbot had a pop-off game, had 3rd.
That was game number 12.
He got 4th in the game, but he is 3rd in rankings right now.
You know, but
this is a crazy, game 1. We're on to game 2 right now, guys.
Wow, we are amped, and we hope that you guys are as well. It is that time. Will game number 2 have that same energy? Will any of these have that same energy? I hope so, because that was wild. With that being said, though, find your seats on the bus. Game number 2 is ready, so casters, take it away.
I wholeheartedly agree. I hope the rest of today and tomorrow continues at this pace, because that was only game number 1. We saw Peterbot heroics, but we saw Poyo really show up and show out.
Yeah, man, I thought that after the break, you know, the highlights, the reactions from the community was going to be enough to, like, you know, give me what I needed for the weekend. But no, I need more. The action is just incredible. And at this pace, I don't know if we're going to have a voice for tomorrow. Talk about a game number 1. That's just setting the stage now as we're jumping in for game number 2. And by the way, shout out to Faxity. I can hear his voice through Twitter here in my house. He was going crazy for the pop-off game. You can really just feel the energy going crazy right now.
Yeah, that energy is contagious, even popping up all the reaction streams on the side. But it's now time for game number 2. Will it be just as exciting? Let's find out. Monster, let's go ahead and talk about another team, though. It's easy to get excited about the Peterbots, the Visuals, Braids, and Aminish. We talked about them being contested at that little rainbow field just above Hopeful Heights. Well, guess what? They not only destroyed that off-spawn fight rather quickly, they immediately rotated north with a zone. That is a recipe for success for them. If they can continue to replicate that, I'll have no worries for them for the rest of the game.
That was a crazy game, guys.
Yeah, and you know what?
Just started.
Yeah, and you know what? Just to kind of bring the conversation to Storm Surge, all of our teams that we thought would be coasting through this game number
Oliver
one,
Jones, Skater,
into the
and
mid-game,
Dash,
into the
No
end
W
game,
Plays,
seem to
Chaos,
have
and
had some
Chaos
difficult
Gaming, and
problems
Awesomer
maintaining
dropping
the
at
damage.
I don't even
But
know
this
what
is
it's called,
one
but
of those things you
it's good.
cannot
POI,
practice for.
hopeful.
You can't
No, this is
prepare
not.
for.
This is Hopeful Heights
Real
right here.
finals lobbies
This is a
is
crazy
just
fight
so
on
different,
Spawn.
right? Everyone
We're
slows
gonna
down.
watch this and
Things
see if
really
it's
start to
cool.
become,
No UW Plays, W
harder,
content
right, than
creator,
any
W
other type of
content creator.
time,
I'm not even gonna lie
even
to
in
you.
the
He's
weeks
crazy
leading up to
content
it.
creator.
So
He deserves
now
it,
more
and
than ever,
it's surprised
you have
that
to
he
hit
did
your
make
shots,
it.
and you have to commit to these fights. I think game one
Only
showed
has
us,
8
you can't
points
just walk
somehow.
away
Victor
from
V,
these
Skittles,
battles.
and
You need to
Chimp
finish
all
them.
Spawn
Yeah,
battling.
this is like two examples
battling,
where they kind of disengaged
Zeke.
on out, but it's changing up here early in game number 2. Chimp's
Victor
already
V got
down,
taken out.
Skittles follows, and
Osid,
Victor V
Zeke,
is no more.
Zeke and G
G-Money,
Monster
Zeke, and
still
Osid
in. They just took out
already
Skittles,
claim
Victor
Magic
V.
Moses as their own.
Victor, Skittles, Victor
Huge
V,
set
and
of
Chimp.
eliminations right here. Magic Monsters had to get wrapped up quickly. Sid, G Monster, and Seek now winning this fight is a huge start for them. They need the points here to go ahead and kind of catch back up,
Here's
make up for lost
Broken,
time. For
Listen,
Skittles, Chimp, and
Turn,
Victor V,
Power,
it's going to be
Void,
a major
all
setback
those people
for
here
anyone
at
else. But Listen, Power,
Canyon
and
Crossing.
Clueless right now here at the
I don't know
Canyon
what
Crossing
place is
team
landing. I want to
continue
see,
to have
but
problems
there's
right
a
now.
big fight here. We're gonna
It's
watch this.
20,
Hopefully, it's
Void,
a
and
cool one.
Broken.
Let's do
And
this,
like
guys.
I said, notice the difference between this game and the last 10 players now. Fully eliminated teams have recognized, okay, we're contested. We need to get these eliminations, get this damage, and move on with the game. So the dynamics now, Jacob, are going to be
There's been some
very
easy
different
eliminations,
compared to game
some
number 1.
Crazy
Yeah,
eliminations
and I don't
right
think
now.
it's so
It's
much
getting crazy.
just about the loot when they're splitting these drops, Monster, even though that is a good point, but it's exactly what you were talking about, this surge. The Storm Surge from game 1 was very, very telling. Even Vivid said a lot of our top tier teams that you wouldn't guess be struggling on that Storm Surge were actually below and around that threshold itself. So I think off-spawn fights like this are
Appreciate 5
become
people
more
in.
and
We're
more
gonna watch this
impactful
out.
and actually getting
29
the damage,
teams
finishing
still
them
up.
early, so you
Let's
actually
see a
give
replay.
yourself a shot to
Broken
play the
just
rest of the
got-
game out with less worries.
He
And you know
got-
what? I called
he
it in
didn't
game
know.
number
He
1
just
when I
one
saw
pump
teams
for
kind of taking these extended fights,
Oh.
tagging one another. It's trios. The one thing that came to my mind is that first surge is going to
There's
be
Rapid,
very, very high.
Kadada, and
that's what
I
happens.
don't
That's what
know
happens
where-
when you take fights and you
I don't
kind
know,
of don't
but let's
finish
see
them.
visuals and
Players just
Snappy
heal,
down.
and it keeps going.
Braids
Enough
and
of that.
ambush
Braids
try to
visuals
take
finish. They're
out.
holding on to their
I don't know who,
top
but
3 position right now.
Kicks right now.
Pretty much holding on for dear life here, as they've already lost.
I already
Man
got
here,
one down.
visuals down in
It's
the
a
box. Will they allow the team
2v2,
to
I
get the
think.
pickup here is the real question.
2v2 to try to live.
Swampy
It's a
nearly picked
2v2
up,
with Braids and ambush,
Looks like Kicks is the one
and
playing defense
I don't
right
know
now,
who,
and
but they're trying to get
they're
in.
not too happy about this. Aminish looks like he's calling for the disengage, but Braids is deep in it. And unfortunately, they are going to have to give it up now.
They're already trying
I
to
think
reboot
that
their
return
teammate.
was just kind of get that reboot card back on out. Gonna go ahead and use this van right here, but you saw that he threw the orb early on just in case they continue to get pushed. They can kind of make their way on out with ease, but just judging by the minimap, nobody really making their way on over. After a fight like that, in a drop spot like this, I think
There's
both of them
Dash,
kind
Skater,
of know
and
we
Alberto
need
G,
resources, we need
but
materials, we need
No
loot
W
in
Plays
order to
got
have
they
a
got
good
took
game
it
whether we
out,
win this fight or
and
not.
yeah, W Plays got
Look at
took
this
it out.
Skater
Chaos
Dash,
Gaming
Power
trying to
OG,
get
where in
away.
Game number 1, they allowed Chaos Gaming, Noah to back out, right? They're like, no, not this time. Taking full advantage of the high ground here. And they're pushing in on DC Awesomer. Ronin Dash has got the Void Oni mask right on top of his opponent here, but looks like Chaos Gaming might be the most out of position right now. He's going to go ahead and go for it here shortly. Skater's here to back him up as well. And this is going to be looking
Skater
like a
was
set of
he was
eliminations
good,
to be picked up here.
and I remember
Yeah,
he
it's gonna
was
be tough
with
for
one of my
Chaos. 2v1,
other
his teammates
brothers.
already
I
abandoned
forget
him.
his name.
It's almost a necessary
cool.
evil to try to stay
Skater's
alive and
good
keep the
player.
game intact, but now
I
they're immediately
appreciate
trying to
his
beeline.
game.
Follow DC,
He was with,
not really
one
let
of
him
my
out. And the
other
thing is,
friends.
DC's going to have to return back to this side of the map regardless, and whoever he wants those
I don't
reboot
remember,
cards.
but-
And I think this is going to be a really
Crazy.
interesting decision for Oliver, Skater,
Dash
and
is
Dash. They want
going
to continue to
for
follow this
the
solo
ul-
across the
the
map because you know
ultimate
as
right
well
now.
as I do,
29
the longer
teams,
contested
85
off-spawn
people.
fights go, the riskier that third
Kirby,
party is going to be. And already
Noxie,
you see
and
one team moving on over.
Virgo is a little bit out. I don't think they're going.
Team starting
Skater
to
got taken out.
slide in down to
Skater
the
got taken out by
hopeful heights
Noxie.
here, and they're moving
I think
pretty quickly now.
Noxie,
Dash trying to
Virgo, and
get out of
Curly,
there.
they're trying to go for it.
They're gonna have to
They just took
fully
advantage of it.
dip
Oliver
now.
G
Skater, one of the ones
lost
left
Skater
behind, and
now.
That's just how quickly things
That's
can
now no
change
G,
here.
bro. G
On the big
Awesomer. I
stage.
think he's a
Not
solo
even the
now,
best loadout
but
either,
he's
right? They're
getting
leaving behind so
left
much of
alone
their
because
drop spot here. This is gonna
because
be a
there's a
very
third
tough game
party.
for them to go ahead and try to find themselves
Ambush visuals,
situated,
Booga,
but
Aviv and Threats trying to get visuals and ambush. They're hiding. Ambush is hiding right now. There it is.
They find themselves
They're camping, bro. No, camping.
Looks like Boogie
All
and
good.
Crew are
I
welcoming
think they were.
this team
Yeah, they
here.
got their team up. They got
They
their
had a
team
bit
up,
of
but
a
they're just
problem
hiding
last
right
game,
now.
finding their
Not seeing
activity
Curly. I
in
see
the
Curly
early
going
game,
for
so this could be a
Alvaro G
move
right
for
now.
them.
They're good. They're pushing in.
But for now, I think for Oliver, Skater, chasing
Alvaro
so
G couldn't do
far
anything.
up the map,
Skater
getting
got out. I
separated.
think.
You see
Skater got
Oliver
out of
G had
there,
no
bro.
choice but to get separated from the rest of his team.
Bird,
You see in the mini
yeah,
map,
Skater
two
got
solos
out.
just kind of scrambled around, and there goes that team that Visual and Braids originally contested, also moving on over in this direction. And you saw just kind of being dictated from game one. All these players realizing
The
okay,
Awesomer
we need
just
to
got
get
taken
our
out by
surge early.
Sloppy.
We need to make sure that we're at least above a certain threshold, so that way we can focus on our rotations when that time comes.
This is crazy, guys. This
Like we're
is
watching right
insane.
now with this little
This
standoff
is
here.
insane.
Press, Clixie, and Drewbot
Oh
really
my
looking to
God.
commit right now. They're still safe for the time being on the Storm. Seem like they have this thing somewhat under control, but they've given Tony, Creo, and Zeus a little too much time, it seems like, to go and get situated. Meanwhile, another team starting to look in as well. Danger lurking ever so closely. Who could it be? Meanwhile, Peterbot
tried to take out Dummy over here.
Different fight here at the Magic Mosses.
Peterbot.
They rotated straight out of there, dropping into another squad.
This is typically how they like to fight for their surge early on, get above that threshold, and it's kind of these prolonged fights where they land
This
damage.
is
the other
crazy,
team
bro.
heals, and they just keep
They're
going
all
at it.
getting in on these people. I feel
Gotta be
bad for
careful
those
how long
guys.
this one
too.
takes. That team
They
towards
can't
the
really
east
do
side
anything about them.
could potentially
They're
move in, but
very
you take
aggressive
notice.
off
Peterbot
this
is kind of
point.
just forcing them
They're
into
just
one
getting-
angle. Cold
forcing
is taking the
themselves in
tops
there,
of those
bro.
builds, and as soon as they pressure him in a situation just like this, it's like taking candy from a baby. Two more players are going to drop. They're leaving Taram as a solo, who's also taking damage while he's trying to disengage.
You could run, but you can't hide. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual on the hunt right now.
Oh,
And
good shot on
here's the thing about
Peterbot,
He
but
plays
Ritual's still there with him.
like he is.
Oh,
a 2
Aviv
or
just
3
took out
man army
visuals
on
that,
his
I
own, right?
forget
You
the
can really
name.
leave him to his
Like the
own
mega-
devices,
the big
and he'll
Mega
go ahead
City
and make
plays.
sure things get done. And so can Cold. And look at this. All of a sudden now, this team levels up. 3 eliminations, already off to a much better start comparatively.
There's Clix,
than
Yonzo,
game
and Batman
number one,
Boog.
and
I'm
they
looking for
found
them.
the
They
surge
could
of
get the,
damage
they
that
could get a
need.
win this game.
If
They
their
did a
group
good
stage is
time last
telling
game,
of what
but
might
they
come
got
next, they should be setting themselves
they
up
got
for
solo
a
clutched
big
by
endgame right
they got
now.
solo clutched by Peterbot.
Meanwhile,
That was
Clix,
insane.
Batman, Boog, and
Peterbot's clutch
Yonzo
there.
Can't say the same for them, right? They've had a relatively quiet start to their game. They're relatively maxed on material here, and now they need to start finding themselves into some
They need to
types
get
of
a
situations
couple
to find
eliminations
damage.
to get their surge up.
You know, for their lobbies this season, I know you're kind of a fan of this team. I think everybody, rightfully so, they've got about a 23% win rate when it comes to set lobbies this
That's
season
good.
in finals. There's only one team higher than them. That's Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual at 28%
Okay.
as well. So as long as they can continue to stay above that Storm Surge threshold early on in the game, I think that's where they're going to continue to find that most success.
Here's
It's
Poe,
when they
Agers,
don't
and-
have that surge, when they're running around the map
then there's
separated
Mason,
and kind
Donnie,
of forced into
and,
box fight situations
Chance
is
there.
where they're going to have their
They're
struggles.
trying to teleport
Yeah, a
out.
lot of teams find themselves in those spots, right? Where how do you figure out what is your weak point in your strategy? And really, there's very limited time to practice. You don't get to feel this type of simulation anywhere else other than finals. It really does become a reality check, I think, for most competitors. And unless you've been to many grand finals or final settings, then you just have no
I'm excited
idea
for
how much
Blake
it
because this
really
is like
takes
his like
to find yourself in a good
16
spot in a
finals,
lobby
bro.
like this.
Kanada's been in
But for
every
Jacko,
finals.
Rise, and
This is his
Muzz,
25th
they have
grand
everything
finals.
it takes
Kanada's
to
been
be
in
a
every single
championship
grand finals
caliber
ever.
trio.
Muzz, Yapko, and
They're
Rise.
flexing it
They're
just
taking shots
right
at I
now.
don't know who's over there, but
So far,
they're taking
they
some
have the
shots at
zone,
those
they're
people
right
over
in
there trying to get the
between two spots. Their
storm
team's
surge up. They're
nicely
looking over at
spread
Kappa
across the
Factory.
kind of canvas
They're
here.
shooting
and
over there.
seems
Muzz
to be
is
working
getting ready.
pretty
I
well
don't
for
know
them
if he
so
sees
far.
kicks over there.
And you got to take note.
Nah, he doesn't.
Land
But
at the
Dio
Shattered
Cooper,
Span, so they
but Dio and
immediately
Cooper,
noticed
I
the
don't
zone,
know where
rotated south,
Threat
trying to hope that that
Spinks
congested
is.
south side of the map
Spinks
where a lot
is
of
not
teams are
there,
contesting
but
and
he's
being where they
close.
can find this surge, and a team very
think.
similar, but without having to rotate.
They only have
Dio, Spinks,
3
and Cooper.
points. They only got
Kind of a disaster
yeah. They only have
happened
3
in that last
points.
game,
Like they
just
didn't
weren't
get
able
any
to control their
eliminations
storm
last game. I
surge.
think
They
they
were
got
kind of stuck in a
17. They got taken
situation,
out.
using a lot of their heals and forced
So
to fight.
they need to
with
they
the
need to
zone
get
moving
they need
over
to have a
this
good
side
game
of the
this
map
game
very,
to
very
do
early on. They
good.
know a lot of teams from the west.
There's
any
Rituals,
teams that are
Code,
maybe
and
on the
Peter
south
Bot
are
trying
gonna have to rotate
to
through
they're
the
trying to get at a
direction, and
storm
they're
right now.
hoping that's how they're gonna make the surge.
Creon just
Oh,
took
look
a
at
good
this,
shot
though.
at Cole
Creon
right now.
Pressure right now. He's
Oh,
gonna find the
shoot.
shield breaks onto
Tony and
Ritual forced into
Tony and Whoever, they just took a big shot at Cold. Now Peterbot's mad and he's going for him. He's going full force. He don't care. He's like, oh, you're not touching my buddy for nothing, bro. Okay. Like, stop playing.
Rotating out.
Okay, now they're all healing back up. They're fine now. They're fine. They got a lot of heals from the. They got the waters, but they got the waters. They got the earth, not the earth sprite, the water sprite. They got the. They're ready. They're not. You're not messing me up. You know what I mean? Stop playing.
Teams are gonna move really quickly away from them, right? For the most part. So.
Yeah, they're going.
They have
still 26 teams up, 76 people.
Yeah,
crazy,
that's exactly
bro.
what kind of Vivid was breaking down in the pregame. They got that early game fight, so you got to imagine where they're at in terms of the Storm Surge numbers.
G-Money sneaking Sid over
there.
They're still in Storm. I don't know where.
And smooth way in.
I don't know if they're gonna try to. Yeah, they're looking at Seek. They're looking at Seek. This team Seek's down. Seek's down. Oh Sid. Oh Sid is. I don't know. They're leaving. They're leaving their team. I'm sorry, bro. They're like, I'm out of here.
You notice how quickly.
I'm not. I don't care.
There wasn't a single ounce of hesitation in that trio. They got the knock and immediately shoot. They're all there.
There's Blake, Yapko, and Cease. Blake's in his 16 finals. Like I said, Yonzo just took out Oxy, Ambush, Visuals, and Braze. They're still up. I thought they got taken out, but they got taken out by, I don't know who, but Visuals got taken out by a beam. Clicks taken out someone. Yonzo took out someone. They're getting in on Oxy and Jojo. Oxy's knocked again. Jojo's trying to get out.
That's basically a solo here, and you know as well as I do, only because they're in zone, they might not go for the chase, but if this was anywhere else, they would make sure to hunt down
Jojo got away, but now he's by Acorn and Polo. Polo and Acorn are going for him now. Now he's going for him, bro. Polo and Acorn are going for Jojo. Jojo can't do anything about it. He's down.
Teams really putting it down right now, showing us
that sucks for them.
They are here,
Jojo,
why they deserve to be in the
team.
finals, and honestly, why they're amongst the best and the favorites, right, of the region here to perform well. Every single big name trio we've expected to perform well are doing just that, especially come game number 2 right now, where the experience
there's Rituals,
really
Cold, and Peterbot. I think I don't know. They're healing up. They're just getting all their heals in. They're getting ready.
You see that 4th elimination. They didn't get too greedy on trying to follow those other 2 players out, just trying to rotate with the zone. And this is almost nearby.
There's Karen. POI, those are the guys that beam. There's the guys that beam the Code over there. They got to be careful.
Try to gather where all these other teams on the north side of the map are making their way towards the zone.
Peterbot's just going because they're in Storm. Ritual was low. Oh no, they're getting killed up, but Ritual was. They're taking shots at Tony, Kareen, and I don't know, Zeus. Right, yeah, they're taking shots over there.
Activity when they really don't even.
They don't really care.
Continue to be this active, but it seems like game 1's a bit of a scare here for Cold, Peterbot, and Ritual, making them think twice about their surge situation right now. They don't want to be in the same spot that they found themselves in game number 1.
There's Muzz, Rise, and Yapko shooting. Yapko just took out one.
Where zone goes, make a move
I don't know where they're going, but they got a launch pad. They're ready.
Knock onto one player. They see them rotating away in towards the north, taking the launch pad. You know they're going to use their mass, whatever they can do to close the distance as much as possible. It does look like my Rise and Muzz are going to be the first ones on over towards the island, and this is where they have a chance to spot him in the water. And it's going to be Yapko that actually does spot out that solo first.
Yeah.
Still, they're going to make a move for it. Void Oni mass charges being used up. Not sure how I feel about this overcommitment right now, but
they're going. Oh, Rise got a good shot on Braze. Braze visual to ambush. They're getting pushed. Yeah, Muzz is low. Muzz is low. He needs to heal up. Yeah, they're healing up right now.
Comes to Muzz's rescue there as he's got the couple splashes. The zone almost put them in a bad spot, but seems like things are going to settle now.
Ding, ding, ding.
Braves are saying, hey, you know what? Bring this action.
Ambush. Ambush going. He don't care. He's going for Yapko, bro.
Sound here from Muzz's trio, but Muzz,
they're going, bro. Visual is Braze and Ambush. They're not scared. Braze just got taken out by Yapko.
It's up to Visuals here.
Visuals take it up, try to take out Yapko. He's holding the wall. Yapko got out.
he continues to get forced into the
Yeah,
storm.
Garage is down.
very
He's getting
positioned by
rezzed
Yapko,
by
knowing that
Muzz.
they were kind of knocking on the door. He was weak. A lot of damage was dealt, but he's trying to reunite.
Muzz has got
and there
visuals.
goes Muzz winning a huge fight.
They got
yet
Braves
again.
visuals.
And now they have the Kappa Factory where they can instantly try to get that
They
reboot
just
back.
took
get all
him
that
out.
that they lost before trying to rotate
There's
to zone, but they
Yamzo,
got to
Batman
be
Boo,
quick
and
because it
Clicks.
does look like it's pulling
They're
away.
trying to get
No,
Fred
you know what they say,
bot.
no pain,
There's one
no
TA
gain.
Fred
That was a
bot.
fight
Get
that
him
was
out.
definitely risky,
They're
and
trying to get him
now
out.
it pays off. And think about what they just did. They took down the second place team here, slowing down the momentum for Visuals and Braids, diminished, sending them right back to the lobby and giving them space here. A little bit of runway, right, to start
There's
taking a
Clicks,
lead.
Batman Boo, and Yamzo. They're a good person to watch because they have a chance.
Pulling all the way
It
towards
depends
the
on
east.
Peterbot.
A little bit of the south.
It depends on
That might
Peterbot
help
coded
Muzz
rituals,
Rise,
performance,
Yapko, when they
polo,
finally get that
agers,
reboot
and
off, but for Clicks,
Acorns
Yamzo,
performance.
Batman Booga, they're almost
Okis?
600 above the
Oh,
damage
let's
threshold.
go, my
They're just trying to
brother.
smoothly move their
There's
way
my
in towards
brother,
zone, find themselves a good spot.
Bucky
They're
Okis
learning
are
after
still
each
alive.
and
Bucky
every
Okis
moment
and
in these games,
I don't know
so that way
their.
they don't make
Okay,
that
there
same
you go.
mistake twice.
You see Kanada in the chat,
chance.
Noxie, and Kanada getting
Donnie and Mason,
elimination.
169 below
My
the damage
fault, my
threshold.
fault,
Even
my
though they're
throat
right
hurts.
next to the zone, they know they need that storm surge now in this 5th zone before the game gets progressively harder for them with each and every following zone.
Encrypted death and sales
One of the best
here.
parts about game
Encrypted
number
getting
one being
beamed right
so
now.
slow and
I
then intense on the storm surges. We've had a nice trickle of consistent action for us here in game number 2. As our
This is
better
getting
teams
crazy.
have
I mean, it's not done yet. Oh my
recognized their
God,
weak
Donnie
points in
Chance
game
and
one,
Mason, they're down
fast adjustments being made
4-13.
here, but for Donnie Chance
Surge,
and
they
Mason,
need Surge
they have
now.
that pressure of the surge
They
here.
need
Seems
Surge.
like
That's
enough
why they're
wasn't
going
done
for
here.
Encrypted and Death
It's
and
gonna
all
be
those
an
people. They
all-out
need
fight
Surge
now.
now.
Mason
But
looking
that
to
might
crash
be
through the
their
bills there. They find Death
that
on the
might be their
side, but
demise because they're
Donnie
trying to get
can't
in,
quite break
and
in,
those
they lose
teams
a
are
player
ready
for their
for it.
troubles, and still
Mason's
no
down.
damage to all of
Mason's
that.
down.
Set for
Chance
nothing
is
and
down.
already
Donnie's the only
Chance
one
sent
left.
out.
And he's
It's all
still
up to
blowing
Donnie. It's not
Surge. He
looking
might go
good. This should
down.
be
Oh, he
a
got
quick
death.
set of eliminations
He got
here
death,
for him,
but he's dead. He's dead.
Zone's already
He's
doing
dead.
damage. The surge is already active.
I think Donnie's dead. Yeah, Donnie's dead.
That was tough. Or they thought there was the hope and chance, almost deja vu for him winning the game. He got the first knock, just unfortunately with Storm Surge and a whole nother player walking him down. There's only
There's
so much
Clicks,
one player can
Yamzo,
do.
and Batman Booga
You can see
pressing.
how active the
They're
lobby
pressing.
is
I
getting.
think
Storm
I don't know
Surge
if they
is
got an
kinda dictating
elimination
a
or
lot
not.
of this flow. Some players
They're going
above, but that
crazy.
doesn't mean
Nut
the same
is
because
Nut
a
just
team
got
like
taken
Nut
out
who's
by
down below the
Tony.
damage threshold is
By
immediately
Tony, a
trying to
different guy.
progress and aggress onto them. Unfortunately enough,
There's so many
Possessed,
people
Ralphie,
here,
Diego
I'm
Plays
not
gonna be
even
able to hold their
surprised,
ground
bro.
and
I'm
get
not
that
even
singular
surprised.
elimination before they rotate.
There goes the Void Oni mask. Look at where the zone's ending right now. It's bringing its way towards the Seaport City.
Yapko.
Very heavy
Seaport
amount of
City's
player
great.
activity happening on that north side right now. Most of our teams that are desperate for Surge seem like they're going to be landing themselves right in the mix here shortly. Ralphie, Possessed, and Diego just got a little bit of time to work with here now before the zone closes and things start to get real desperate.
Guys. Thank you,
Meanwhile,
guys.
Clicks, Yamzo, and Batman Booga are one of
Clicks,
the
Yamzo,
teams kind of
Batman
lurking
Booga in the
nearby.
chat. They're in Seaport, I
Possessed, Ralphie,
think.
and
They're
Diego
close to
have no
Seaport.
idea.
Rowan,
Rotating
Rex,
north is just going to be hard
Diego
because even if they make it
Plays,
through all these buildings at
Aim,
Seaport City,
X-Aim.
they got to go across
They're ready.
the
Batman
mountain range where you
Booga.
already
Oh,
see
there's
2, 3 teams
there's
positioned up.
Booga
They're
over
hoping if
there.
They move towards the right.
Booga,
they not
I
only
saw
get a
Booga,
position
I see
in toward the
Yamzo,
zone,
Batman,
but a spot where
Booga,
they can look
Clicks.
back, try to get some surge.
They're kind of
It's Batman
big.
Booga,
Clicks is getting,
Yamzo and
they're
Clicks
getting
to seem
beamed. They're
are a
getting
little
beamed
bit
by
busy, and that's their
Booga.
opportunity to try
Booga
to
and
surprise
Clicks in
attack.
there. They need to
61,
get
Storm
out. Oh
Surge
my
is
God,
active as well. They
punishment
gotta
X
hurry
aim
up
is
'cause
getting
things are not looking good.
beamed. Literally
what
beamed
happens
by
when you don't find your early game fights.
Booga, Yamzo, and
Things
Abib.
start
Not
to go downhill, and although they
my
do have an
fault.
elimination,
Booga,
you could just
someone
see
in Abib.
that number, that threshold is steadily
fault.
rising here. 140 damage, though, is definitely surmountable,
Oh yeah,
but
Agers.
it's going to come at the hands
Bolts-
or the
Bolts has
expense
got
of Clicks,
elimination.
Yamzo, and Batman Booga. Let's see if they
Bolts.
can defend themselves well. Of course
Clicks
they
is
can.
trying their best.
Into the trap
Yamzo,
door, he falls,
is Yamzo
and
alive? I
down
thought
one goes.
Yamzo was
Clicks
down
now
for a
forced
second.
to
My
go
fault. Batman Booga
recover
just got an
here shortly.
elimination. Batman
Couple teams
Booga,
trying
watch
to
out.
focus in on
Theo
them, though.
Plays
This
is right
could
there.
end
They're
pretty
knocking
badly
on
now.
Batman Booga Clicks' door. They better be ready. They better be ready for Clicks, bro. They're down below searchers. That's why they need damage. They need a lot of stuff. Clicks, Batman Booga, and Yamzo can just clean this up real quick because they just got one. They just got one of Surge Swords, and they just got Diego Plays. They just Knocked them off. Now they got 5 kills. They got 5 kills, but they gotta be careful.
was
They're
gonna say,
getting some
interestingly enough,
eliminations.
they
This is
actually
what they
needed
need.
that
This is what they
fight.
need. Is
At
Bucky
some point or
Okus
another, it
and
seems
are they
like
still alive? I think
they
Bucky, yeah,
started to
Bucky and
fall
Okus are
behind,
still alive.
so it seems like
There's
sometimes you
Bolts,
just
Rapid,
need a little bit of luck on your
Kanata
side
still
as things start
alive,
to fall
Clicks,
into your
Yap,
favor there.
not Clicks, Muzz, Yapko, and
Now more than ever, though,
whoever's
Bolts,
still
Rapid,
alive,
and Kanata are pretty happy
Yapko,
about
and
this position they
Blake
found
is still
themselves in.
alive. Blake
On the outskirts
Blake
of
in
the
the
zone,
16th
no
grand
one
finals,
really
like I said.
pressuring them here, and they've got
He's
full
crazy.
information
Bucky
being
Okus
downloaded
and
here on the rest of the
I
lobby.
don't know.
And that's how you win a
Craze, I
game
think.
right there. You
Bucky
start
Okus
to
is
really take in
Craze.
what is unfolding
This is crazy
just
here.
like this. And all of a
Peterbot,
sudden
Cold,
you
and
can find
Ritual
yourself
still
in
in
a
it.
great
There's still
position.
18 teams,
Meanwhile, Peterbot,
54
Cold, and
people
Ritual,
left.
no problem
So,
with the search this game,
there's
however.
there's
not
like
the
a lot
most
of
prime
teams,
position
not
just
gonna
yet.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
can't
there's
see
like
Stormsurge
yeah,
actually
there's
seventh zone. It
18
needs to go down
trios.
to
There's
about
no solos. I don't think there's
42
any
players.
solos
That's
left.
12 individuals that do need to fall, or 4 straight trios, so it's not going to be easy to try to survive this. But for Yamto,
Yeah,
Batman,
there's
Boogie,
about to be
Clicks, the
placement
early game
points.
stuff
Placement
was
points
proving
comes
to be
in at
rewarding. They not
17th
only got
place.
serves, but enough loot.
So we need one more trio to go down for the placement points to come in. Yeah, but there is Storm Surge coming in now, so there are a lot of people I think are getting hit by Storm Surge. Curve Shadow and Tyler is moving over Blake. There's Yamto, Clicks, and Batman Booga there. Booga just took out a guy. Bucky just got taken out.
Clicks here, one of the first to go in and start rotating out.
Badil, Sphinx, and Cooper there.
They're going to be on the outskirts. Badil, Sphinx, and Cooper.
Cooper, bro, I feel bad because Okus and them are trying to get points and they keep getting beamed by people. Booga is taking out everyone. Oh my god, this is getting crazy. 16 teams left. There are placement points that have come in already. 15 teams left. Oh my god, this is getting crazy, bro. No cap.
It's going to cost him a little bit more. Luckily, the sky is clear here.
Clicks,
for the
Rituals, and Code still in. They're teleporting over. They already got 6 eliminations in the chat. Okus is still alive, but he's just barely alive. Clicks just took out
Nox. They haven't had the most forgiving rotation
Tyler.
this time around. Coming in
Clicks
from the
is
north,
not Tyler,
all the way
while
to the south.
Code needs to be
Materials
careful.
not necessarily looking the best, but they're looking around to see if
Batman
there's any
Booga just
potential
got
refreshes.
the elimination for
Muzz, Rise,
Clicks.
Yapko, no, they're not in just
Muzz,
yet.
Rise,
They try to go
Yapko,
ahead
they're
and one
moving.
orb towards the top. This is where they're trying to position
Kanata
themselves
on
above
height.
some of these
Kanata-
other teams,
are
but
they on
not
height?
above
Are they on height?
Kanata,
No.
Rapid and Bolts.
They might be on height, but they're
zone to
they're
zone, and now they're the
totally
kings
high.
atop
Yeah, they're
the
on
castle
height.
for
They're on
now.
height right now.
And this is what happens when you pull the zone
Poe,
so perfectly
Agers,
like
and
that,
Acorn
they
getting
have the
pushed. I don't know
download of
who
the
they
rest
push
of
it
the
for.
lobby. I was literally setting the
Okus,
stage.
I think,
The
just
zone
got
couldn't have
took
been
it out.
better
I
for
think
them,
he
but
got a couple placement points for his
first, we
team,
gotta
but they
see
need
what's
to step it
going
up.
on here in Foyo's world. Agers and Acorn got some big pressure coming
Acorn
in
and
here. Foyo
Agers
looking
trying to
for
battle some
any
people.
kind of elimination right now.
Peterbot just took out a kill
Nothing's
in
gonna come his
Shadow.
way just yet, but
The
it does seem
Ritual
like
got
they
the
find
got the
themselves a
elimination
little bit of
on.
loot here.
Got the elimination
Kind of
for him.
falling into
Confirmed
the
that
box
elimination.
right now. Can't be upset at that.
Muzz, Rise, and Yapko. I don't know what place they're
Time is
in,
gonna
but
be
they're
on
at
their side.
111 points.
They're on the front side of the
Threats,
zone, but so is
Threats
Muzz,
just took
Rise,
out
Yapko,
Curve.
and that's something that you really have to start to be
13
careful
teams
for.
left
At least
still.
cognizant of
Bolts,
who's gonna
Bolts
try to
could not
overtrap you.
edge.
They're
Trying to get
only
on
31
height. I
above the
think
damage
Rapid
threshold.
is
Kanata,
there.
Rapid,
Cold,
Bolts
Rituals,
still
and
holding their position
Peterbot
in the
on the
clouds.
bottom, which
Ritual,
is
Peterbot
usually not what
trying
they
to claim
like to
position
be like
in
because
front
they're
of
usually on the
everybody
high
else,
ground.
zone after zone.
Peterbot
It's
was
still
a
little
good
bit too
high
early to
ground
know
guy
if anybody's
before.
gonna try to take that
And
high ground
Cold,
away.
and they're just as much
Let's see
point.
it, though.
Clicks is
Pressure
almost
coming
there
in.
too.
Clicks, Yamto, Batman,
Clicks,
Booga main
but Clicks got they don't have a lot.
maintaining
They don't have a lot of
this kind
heals
second
left.
height visual
Clicks try to
right
get
now.
those minis popped.
No problem as far as
Peterbot and them are still higher than Clicks. But if Clicks is able to pull up, Clicks and Yamto and Batman Blue able to clutch this game, they be able to get the win from Kanata. Because Kanata, Bolts, and them, they're on height. They're trying to beam these people in here.
They're looking down. It's Cold, it's Ritual, it's Peterbot who's down below them. Meanwhile, High Ground does have two teams potentially looking to poise up. Clicks and company go up for height.
Clicks going up.
Cold and company take
Clicks
the low
went up.
ground.
They're just continuously trying to.
They trying to take it out. They're trying to get Kanata and them out.
Need Storm Surge. It's just about materials and eliminations. As
I don't know.
Rapid and
Did
Bolts
Clicks
continue
go
to
up?
pour down pressure.
Did Clicks
Jack's
go
gonna
up or not?
down. Cease is going to be left by himself.
I
He
thought they
has to
did,
make a
but
big clutch happen,
I don't know if they did or
just like
not.
he did to get to this stage alone. But he's going to fall. The whole team's going to be ripped apart. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual box to box against Acorn, Agers, and Foyo, the team that won Game 1.
Top 10 situation right now.
This is
This is where the
getting crazy.
points
This is
really
getting
start
crazy.
to add
This is
up.
the end.
But look at
This
this,
is like
only
the end
30
game. This is the
builds here,
end
3
game,
maps
guys.
left. What can
Edgy,
Peterbot
Quanti
team
there.
do? They're gonna need
They're
a
getting
refresh.
beamed by
Edgy's
Peterbot.
gonna be the one first to fall
Batman
here.
Booga
Now
just got
Peterbot
taken
gets
out.
the siphon, so he goes into the
Clicks
storm for
got
the loot.
knocked
The risk was worth
by
it. The team
Yapko.
following close behind, and look at how they work work.
Peterbot just took out Angie.
That is exactly
Julio just
what
took
we
out
expect
Dead.
of a team this good. Agers, Boyo, Acorn are doing it once
Yonzo
again
just still got took it out by Rapid. They only got 9.
Here by Agers. He's working
8,
back
I mean.
and forth. Bugha's gonna fall. Peterbot loses his teammates. It's all
Cole
up to
got
him
taken
and
out. Ritual is somehow still alive.
We've seen this movie before. We know what he can
It's
do.
Puyo versus Acorn right here. No, it's Peterbot versus Acorn. Peterbot just got beamed. He's 7 HP, 1 HP. He's literally 1. Is he gonna do the solo, bro? He needs a solo clutch right now. Oh, he got taken out. He got 6. Spinks and Cooper, Vidal.
A resurgence of a performance here in game 2. They're looking
Is
for the
Puyo
win.
still alive?
They needed this
Oh,
comeback
Kanata's
right
still
now.
up
They
there.
needed to get
Kanata trying to go for the
themselves back on
win.
the board.
Agers.
Though, is the last
Agers the
man
last
standing.
of
He takes down
Puyo and
Yako. He's
Acorn's
looking for a
team. They
siphon.
just took
There
out.
it
He
is.
just took out
The points
Yapko. He's
start to
trying to
add up.
survive
The
as long as he can.
coming
He's
back
trying to
for
get a buck.
Meanwhile,
He
turns
just
his
took out
back around.
Boats.
Attention up top. It's Kanata who's still there. Agers
Kanata's still up
swinging
there.
all
Boats got
types
taken
around.
out.
Now it
Kanata's
seems like he's got
teammate.
his bearings back under his feet here.
There's
And
Cooper
things are
down
starting
there.
to simmer down.
Spinks. I think
There's a lot
Cooper
of
and Spinks right
fragmented
there.
teams alive, though.
I don't know if
Anything can still
I
happen
don't
right
know
now.
if they know. Rapid.
I don't think
Rapid's
there's
still
anybody
up there.
that's a full trio
Rapid,
left in this game.
no,
Agers
Agers trying to throw up
to
that
his
TP
advantage,
to
trying to go
Kanata,
unnoticed.
but he
Rise
could
is
just
on the
get
other side.
easily
Eventually
beamed.
they'll
Rise.
crash, and it does look like
Agers
it's
to that
gonna be Agers
rise.
to get the elimination.
Agers
Siphon
solo
coming into
clutcher
play
right now.
just in the
Still got
nick of time,
Cooper.
trying to keep him alive,
Kanata
but the
still
fight
got
comes out.
Cooper.
Kanata
It's
takes
just
down
it's a
Cooper.
2v1.
Situation.
Oh.
Kanata going for one angle. Rapid on the
Rapid
other,
and
they seal
Kanata
the
got
deal.
that
12
win.
eliminations,
But Agers
Kanata
clutched up
in
for
the double
Polio's
digits
team,
with
so
10.
that might be
And
still in the
if
lead.
there's
Polio,
anyone
Agers,
that
and
needs that
Polio,
little bit
Agers,
of confidence boost
and
is someone
them
like
could
Kanata,
still be in
who
the lead.
plays off of the momentum
Polio,
of
Agers,
his
and
mood and wait for him to take
Kanata
that game
could
to
still
victory
be
right
in
there.
that lead.
That's going to really put him in a good spot now, Jacob, for the rest of the day here.
Yeah, you talked about the attitude, the confidence.
Agers clutched up for his team. I think they might, because Polio and them won. Polio, Agers, and whoever won the first game, they might still be in there.
He eventually fell. You gotta imagine the
My
distraction and the
team's
damage that
clicks
he
went
actually
down,
did to
but
the
hopefully
players
they
down
got
below,
some
because we saw
eliminations.
nobody
It was
was a
enough
full
for them
trio.
to keep their
Take
top
a look
10.
at
I
the
don't know.
high
They need to
ground
do a little
position
bit better
here.
this
We
week.
didn't even really
If
get
they're
to
able to
tune
get
in
a
with
so,
their
if they're able to
perspective,
get a
but it
victory,
looked
they might be able
so
to do
easy
better.
for them as
But I
no
think they
one
got some
contested
eliminations.
them
They got
from
at least like
above,
6
and
eliminations, so
Kanata's
hopefully that was
pressure
enough.
was just too good.
And then
Looking
with their
back
store
at the
and with their
eliminations
placement
here,
points, they got I
really
think like
leading
8th
his
or
team
9th.
right now and honestly solidifying the victory for the squad. Must
That's
feel
good for
also
Kanata,
land the
but-
final shot right there. What a big game now for Kanata. Rapid
Appreciate
and
you
bolts
guys.
there, Zeke. Kanata! Kanata, let's go! Oh my god! What am I watching, dude? What are these games? I
games are
cannot
crazy.
believe what just the 2 first games of Major 1 Finals have given us. What's so crazy about this game is we're literally bouncing from trio to trio, and then the moment we get the white shot, we look up and we go, wait a minute, Kanata, Rapid Bolts, are you guys on height? And
Jeez,
they
that's
win!
crazy, guys.
Yeah,
Oh
they
my
had
god.
that tower, like you can see right here, from 8th zone, and I thought, no way are they going to be able to convert this into high ground, and they do that. But then we see bolts go down, and I go like, well, no way that they're going to be able to hold high ground, and they still do that. Kanata has to be one of the best fraggers from high ground. To get
Kanata's
double-digit
good.
eliminations from that position is almost unheard of. And to speak on where they were in game 1, they ended in 21st place. So to jump up so far, to recover, and you know that this team is a very emotional trio.
I don't know where
or
Kanata is, because they were 23rd at the, like
to
they
see
said.
them go from 21st to 1st place, you know that they have to feel good.
Yeah, but
Oh,
what
they're in
a
first place?
huge like burst of confidence.
I
that
thought
must be, right?
Polio- I
for
thought
Kanata
Agers
just
Clutch was
as,
able to
you know,
keep Polio,
himself
Agers, and
personally
them
as a
in the
player,
lead.
obviously for the trios,
They
they
have to
winning
be
a game,
second,
but
probably.
10 eliminations, breaking into the double digits already in game number 2, especially after that first game kind of slipped out of their hands. Still though, even saying that middle of that game right there, Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts looked like they were a little bit lower on the Storm Surge. I'm surprised they were actually able to bring that back and convert that game. But yeah,
That was crazy.
Kanata put it on a show, and well done to this team, holding the high ground, receiving no types of pressure, just cleaning up the rest of the game.
Dude, let's go. We have to go to a break. When we return, though, don't worry. We'll break that win down and so much more. We'll be right back. Let's go!
Got 3 minutes, guys. Let's go. I'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone, to the FNCS. We just got a sneak peek at the standings, and I'm about to lose my mind. First 2 games of NAC have not disappointed. We have seen some of the craziest plays, some high-profile trios, all battling it out, all going head-to-head. This is crazy, but that last game, Bolt, Rapid, Kanata get themselves a victory royale. Once again, we see a victory royale coming out with double digits, but look at these standings. Agers, Acorn, Poyo, almost 100 points ahead. Games in second and first, back-to-back, 13 eliminations, 14 eliminations. Kelly, what am I looking
Okay,
at?
I'm back, guys.
I mean, you're looking at what
Let's
a lot
see.
Eliminations in
She's
second,
standing.
in
Quicks
first.
is number 4.
had a great
They got shot up.
Almost 100 points ahead. Games in second and first. 100.
Horse? It's Kanata. Kanata. They won a
just wasn't
28
exactly
places.
going to get
bro.
from what they're locked in for, and this is what we expected from this trio. They are absolutely
guys for
stomping the competition from low ground, from high ground, regardless, Vivid. They are running away with it.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned it earlier, but I was like, yeah, their group stage games, they did not look like they were going to do well in those early and mid games, like at all. They needed to kind of clean that up. And for finals, right now, these games, they have for sure cleaned up those early and mid games. They look like such a healthy team throughout all
13
stages of the
people
game
watch
right
my
now.
pre-boot
And it is
72 hours. Go check that
translating
out.
Very,
I'm be adding
very
some
well.
other
I mean,
videos
first place
after
with
that.
14 eliminations. Second
Quicks
place
and
with
Batman
13
Booga, my
eliminations.
favorites to do
Literally
good. They're
cannot be
4th
stopped
right now.
Almost
They're doing
100
good.
points out of the competition.
I just look at the
But they're
E's,
111
right? Look at the
from first.
placement points. I mean,
Poyo,
what
bro.
am I looking
Kanata
at?
went-
That should, you know what's
Rapid,
crazy? What I love
Kanata,
is
and
that
Bolts
should say
went from
Peterbot, and it
33rd,
doesn't. It says
last place,
Poyo.
I think.
So everyone
I went
out
up
there
28
who's like,
places.
Poyo doesn't carry, but show Peterbot. You're a liar. Check the stats, homie. Look at how crazy this is. We have just seen 2 games. I don't even know. My heart is racing. My little bird heart is racing right now, and I'm going to lose my mind. But there's still a ton of things we wanted to highlight. I mean, even just look at this top 5. Look at these names. I mean, guys, we are fighting here for one of those 2
Quicks is
spots
4th
going
right
to the
now.
Global
Quicks is
Championships,
4th.
and it is so
He's just a 4.
apparent.
I mean, honestly, I was really impressed with Muzz, Yapko, and Rise right there. We saw this crazy early rotation all the way to the southeast edge there, just to make sure that they grabbed some tags, just to make sure that they grabbed some eliminations. They were able
And also,
to take
my
down
brother
Reigns'
from my
trio
other
right
mother,
there, who
Nana's
was
Plays, got his
previously in
first
second
win
place.
in
And
this
then they just
season,
were
bro.
able to
Like,
use that
he never
and
plays
convert
really,
it
bro,
into
but
such a great
check out his
low
channel.
ground.
I'll
And
link it in the,
I kinda like
it's
this
in my
blade,
description of my
Oni
channel.
mask
If you go
hold
to the
that
bottom of
Muzz
the channel,
had right there,
Nana's Plays is
it definitely seemed to be, you know, more of a
1.88K.
contingency
He doesn't really
plan,
post a lot of
whether that
Fortnite,
didn't
but
work out
he
for them
is
or
a
not,
good
but
content creator.
regardless, they were
He's
able
a
to
good,
just
like,
kind of have
he's
a
a good
great
person.
end game there.
Go
Rise
check him
having
out
to
if you
go
want
for a
to.
solo
I
run.
would
That seems to
appreciate
be
it,
kind
'cause
of the
my
repeat
brother
story
from
we're
my
seeing,
mother,
Vivid,
if you know
is
what I mean,
that
bro.
these solo clutches,
He's
it's kind of
my
what's holding
friend.
up our
He's
top
my
5
brother,
right
like-
now.
Yeah, super incredible job there. But
You know,
also,
bro.
we've got a couple of teams that were kind of
There's
playing
still a
catch-up
minute
right
left,
at bat
guys.
for a
I'll be
team
right
like
back.
Theo Cooper and Sinks. They've kind of snuck in their way up to 11th place, but then obviously Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts winning that game. I mean, they had 3 points after that first game, and now they're in 5th place. So that win right there was extremely important for them.
So big. I mean, even Peterbot, right? Once again, you know, what's crazy, we talked about them being this unstoppable trio, but again, we're put in a similar situation in this last game, right? Everyone goes down. It's Peterbot left as a solo. So do we think that these guys are maybe having issues? Like, why does this, why? Obviously, it's just 2 out of 12 games. I don't want to get crazy here, but, you know, it's happened back to back. So what's happening?
I don't want to speak for Cold and Ritual too much, but Peterbot actually historically has been a day 2 player. I think that they definitely lock in once they get their first day 1 done. And that's definitely worked out for him back when 1.5x points for day 2 was a thing. Obviously, this isn't affecting him too much. You know, the fact that they have been put into a solo situation in both games now, and they're sitting in 3rd place is definitely not the worst position to be in.
I mean, I don't think that we've actually seen a good game from them yet so far, right? They haven't, you know, been a trio, a solid trio with, you know, healthy materials and everything ready to go. So hopefully in game number 3, they can kind of switch that around and we can see a healthy end game from that.
Let's find out. I'm getting word. It is that time once again. Right back into the action we go. So casters, take it away.
Yeah, I think you hit it right there. The money on the head right there. Because what we've just seen is that's just their worst games, right? This is not even what they're truly capable of just yet. And don't forget, we're just getting started. There's still 4 big games in front of us, Jacob. In day 1,
5 people appreciate you. We're back.
Ever, right? There is no multiplier for day 2.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard for these teams to catch up. There's not going to be a lot of time to make the adjustments. But Peterbot's playing phenomenally well. 3,600 damage, most damage in the game. But Pollo is playing just a little bit better. He is the elimination leader right now after 2 games. Will that change? Because the Battle Bus is ready for Game 3, Monster. Let's get into it.
Major 1 Finals Game 3 starts right now. Very interesting kickoff to the weekend so far, as Finals Day 1, Game 1 and Game 2 have definitely kept us on our toes.
Game 3, bro. We're on Game 3
really
quick
starting to take
in his
shape
4th spot like always, bro.
Points ahead
And
of the
stuff. So
competition.
let's see
Majors,
how
Acorn,
Game
Pollo
3
find themselves right now.
goes.
Can they maintain the lead is the question everyone is wondering. However, we are just getting started, right? I really don't think you can count out any of the teams inside the top 5. There's a reason all 5 of those trios were the trios at the top of everyone's list. So I do think we are in for a great
Chris has a chance, and if he wins, he gets his first FNCS title with all his team getting their first FNCS
a little bit
title.
slow. In Game 2,
And Yamzo with Rise before, remember they got cut their internet and all that stuff. They were in first for most of the games, and someone sabotaged them. Yamzo could finally get his first ever hit. And Batman Booga, which got second. He clutched up so much, got second in the last FNCS that Peterbot won. He got second.
From one fight
And
to the next,
his Rapid at Batman Booga.
Contested again from
Batman
groups to
Booga
this.
wins. I think Rapid will be happy for him. They were
I just
they were
think this
good
leaderboard's
too.
going to look very, very different.
I'll be right back. Oh, it's Blake Seeks and they already don't have any points. I want to. They need to clutch up. Okay, I'll be back.
Going on here. We saw a little glimpse of Cease, Jack, and Blake making their way into that end game just before. They're still looking to get their footing. First set of eliminations going to fall right into their point threshold there. Very nice. Meanwhile, Sinetto, Scare, and Veer. Strong Game 1 performance, kind of fizzled out come the end game, and then Game 2, bit of a struggle after getting contested. But the Whiffy Wharf, not big enough for 2. You can see their loadout looking pretty desperate here right now. I wonder, when are they going to push?
Yeah, there's really not a ton of loot directly in Whiffy. Usually if you get this uncontested, you go towards the north. There's a lighthouse there with more loot, sometimes a little bit towards the south. But for 2 teams to land at this one drop spot, both of them are going to be, wouldn't necessarily say in shambles because it depends on what you actually get, but they're going to be hurting the longer that fight actually does take on that side of the map. Chimp, Skittles, Victor V, you saw them contested. You saw them kind of spread out in the early game instead of taking their contested fight straight out.
I didn't want to went down or not.
And they immediately move over towards Brutal Boxcars. They're just trying to get as much metal as they can. That's one of the few resources towards the north side of the map.
Happy's trying to get away from Skittles.
Yeah, always tough to find that metal. Skittles, Chimp, and Victor V right now. Just looking to trade some tags here with teams in the vicinity. Nothing big comes out of it just yet, but they do have an early elimination off, kind of picking one of these players off. So they're trying to see if they can set themselves up to potentially collapse now, but no. Instead, they back off.
Old Peterbot and
Right
Ritual.
play. All right, game number 3. Everyone's still looking
Which
to
place is it?
kind of situate
I wanna
themselves,
go to
build a
this
strong foundation here for day
Oh, it's
1.
Flooded Frog.
Meanwhile, the Flooded Frogs, Cold, Ritual, and
Cold
Peterbot,
Ritual
we all know
have placed top
there
3
is
at over
really
half of their
nothing that
finals
can
games
stop
this
this
season.
team if you get them into
That's
endgame.
crazy.
It's just runaway train scenarios unfold game after game.
Yeah, the accolades for this team continues to kind of stack up. Placed top 3 in over half of their finals games this season. No, it's not just Opens finals. Stacked lobbies were the best of the best. They're usually claiming that top spot time and time again, and it's because of just the immense skill and the ability to claim these drop spots like Flooded Frogs. They moved over from Brutal Boxcars. With the changes happened to Flooded Frogs, the water actually dissipated, unlocked this vault right here that we're seeing Peterbot loot, which gives you almost guaranteed weapons, guaranteed mobility, something that they're able to use for this early game, while some teams might not actually have a Mask or a Typhoon Blade or a Kinetic Blade.
And can we
There's
just give
Muzz,
credit to him
Yapko,
not
Rise
even
here outside
wasting
of
the shield
Seaport.
kegs? He's willing to keep it down to
see
the
what they're
last
doing.
tagging case. They need to double back into the storm, play a little bit further. It's the little things. They really have their entire drop mapped out. And I don't think people give them
Yapko,
enough
Rise have the
credit
most
for
shotgun
the
damage of
preparation.
any team. 2,199.
This is incredible. The international trio have the most shotgun damage out of every team, and they're at the top of the leaderboard, so they're fighting for every single inch that they have in this game, and they've done so by traveling north, south, east, west. They're quick to the punch to try to get position over every other team in these early zones.
Sales Encrypted have seemingly jumped into the action here. I don't know who invited them, but Chimp, Skittles, and Victor V has had their drop spot just fully invaded round after round. And you can see it's weighing heavily on their points right now. Wonder where G Money has gone off to at this point.
Moving past this position, if anybody kind of positions on top of that actual mountain, it's not going to come without its own risk of possibly just kind of getting tagged up
There's
by
Peterbot,
Surge, but you see
Death,
the importance of metal.
Peterbot, Coda, Rich will try to get their surge damage. They're going after.
Others are
I don't
having
even know.
all of it.
Redbot, they're getting Redbot,
Another
Nut,
one
and
of
all
these
that.
early
They're
game
getting
scuffles trying to
totally
get their surge
ambushed
to
by
really set
Peterbot.
themselves
I
up
feel
for
bad
some
for
of those
them.
performances that
They've
having
just
so
been,
far.
they've
You see
been
that they're kind of
literally, they
pushing
have
each
been
other
like,
into one another.
Peterbot, they're only
taking
24.
all the
They
walls
barely
on
have
that
any
side,
police.
trusting his
They
team to
won't
stay
leave them
alive
alone.
and put the
Like, they
same
can't do
pressure on
anything.
the other side.
What I like about this is
Peterbot,
no
oh
two
my
games are
God.
the same, right? They've gone a completely different way this time around. Peterbot, though, is going to be the first to fall here.
Peterbot got eliminated. Oh my God, I just counted them out.
Meanwhile,
Oh
we're
my
going
God,
cold,
they got
seemingly
elimination. They
deciding,
don't.
hey, wait a second, we haven't done enough damage. Let's get out of here. And they
Not
actually
Fred
back
Bot
off.
and Liam, bro. They're standing their ground. They still got Peterbot, the best player right now.
Smart decision for them, but for Nut, Fredbot, and Liam, this is going to be one that you kind of know who it is. You took down Peterbot. Do you chase the other two?
They took out
We're gonna see how
Peterbot.
actually went down, just getting a little bit too aggressive. Nut was not only able to hit the shots that matter, spray him down, and get the siphon because he just had a sliver of HP himself.
Did notice they started to move towards Cold and Ritual's way, but hold that thought. Creo, Zeus, and Tony have moved out of the brew.
Is that actually
Seems like
Creo?
they've gotten chased by Encrypted Sales here.
No, guys,
This
is
team
that
has a
actually
little bit of
Creo
action, both sides
from World Cup?
putting the damage on. It's going to be
We talk about Creo from World
for
Cup.
height.
Got third in World Cup. We talk about Creo.
Other teams starting to look in now. This is not a free 3-on-3.
Are these actually? Is this actually Creo, bro?
Yeah, it's going to be a risky
There's
fight,
no way
no
this
matter
is
the case,
Creo.
especially for a team that's positioned not only on top
don't
of the
believe
mountain,
it.
but down below all the rest of those builds. So teams looking in this direction as they kind of build their way up. That is going to be free and easy surge. So I do like the decision, not only to disengage, but kind of slow things down. Try to a different spot as Death just gets tagged up from all around the lobby. As good a position it is for these surge bases, you got to watch out because as soon as you peek over, it just makes you susceptible to just beams just like that.
A lot of action happening here. This is what's allowing Death, Encrypted, and Sales to remain inside the top 10. These early surge bases are definitely important.
This is
Meanwhile,
crazy. 29
for your
players.
Acorn
Pollo,
Majors right now,
Acorn Agers in the
Arcane,
lead right now by
1
what?
and 2 leaders
100
right now,
points.
respectfully placing up at the top. This doesn't get better to a tournament start
Pollo
than
has
that.
11 eliminations through
And then
2
to
games, the
think
most of any player.
14 and 13 elimination games. Of all those eliminations, Pollos have picked up 11 through those 2 games, leading by, I'd say, a fair margin across the rest of the competition right now.
That's crazy, guy.
And you can kind of see that uncontested night shift. They're easily making those rotations in towards the east. They got options to get surge as well. The bird contested by 2
Bro,
teams if they want to look
respect,
south.
respect,
Donnie
bro,
Mason
no
then just
okay,
above them to
respect.
the north. If they're feeling risky enough, clicks Yamzo
Agers
back
got
Booga
second
over
last
towards
game.
Lost
Man,
Lake. So you
he
see how
clutched
they're
up very
progressively
hard,
getting
even
better
though
in terms of
Kadada
accumulating that
Rapid
surge game
and
after game.
them
So that way they don't have to worry about
he
it.
clutched up hard
Unlike some of the rest of the teams in this lobby.
for his team to keep them so high in the league.
Curly Knox and Virgo on the move right now down at the Hopeful Heights here. They've
Havoc
got
and
their eyes
Sandman
on
just
a
got
trio
taken
next
out.
door.
Noxy
Noxy
right there.
already
This
calling the
no,
scout
their teammates,
here.
my fault.
They seem like they've had a bit of a struggle out of their drop. We already know they've gotten into some early contested fights here.
There's Noxy.
I feel like because I think 5 of the 8 contested drops that we're seeing throughout the day, obviously if somebody changes it up, that changes it up. But 5 of them are on the south side of the map, 2 of them directly next to Noxy, Virgo, and Curly. So they're quickly trying to rotate, get as much surge as possible, and take advantage of those fights. But I think a lot of the lobby is realizing how quick and important it is to kind of rotate, get your surge, get out of there. So as soon as they held their position on the south side of the map, a lot of those teams that were contested kind of moved on out of there.
A rapid Kanata
update right here. I want to see where Clixie, Yamzo, and Batman Booga were positioned this game, because we already know that Peterbot had to get rezzed right deep inside the storm, so they could easily be one of these trios that will be next up, right, for Yamzo, Clix, and Batman Booga to target. And given that they're already kind of off their game a bit, right, that could spell disaster for that team right now.
That's actually a really, really good point. Because Peterbot goes down, they go deeper into zone. They're going to have to return back to zone and try to get surge. You got to imagine they might be one of these teams that you see in the mini-map. There's about 6 of them overall. Yamzo, Clix, and Batman Booga, they're immediately pushing on over, gain some elevation. And as soon as they see 1 or 2 players around, that's when they're going to try to take their time and try to interrupt one of these fights instead of being one of the ones that started overall.
No, they don't seem to be too happy about that.
There's Otter Sprite.
The zone's already starting to push in. They're looking to cut these teams off, be the first to get to the save zone, and then fish for tags on teams rotating. A little bit of a safer strategy, but not one that's guaranteed to deal a lot of damage.
He's been in the
Intake Eoxy and Jojo now in a standoff
this grand
against
finals,
the young
he has
Jack.
not been doing good.
Hopefully
this game can turn the morale, but they're getting double. They're getting triple
Jack making his way towards Pikes here. Has to be careful.
Blake trying, but Yapko over.
Now they're getting forced into zone. Jack can't even
Blake's
fight back.
11?
He has to try
No
to
way.
heal. They're quickly on his tail. The cone's barely going to save him, but he's blocked off overall. Great edit by Jack to stay alive. Firing back onto Jojo. Unfortunately enough, the blessings come to an end. He goes down. The siphon coming to work
Blake
for him,
get out?
keeping Jojo alive. But you got to give Jack credit for that work.
Blake did get
out.
out.
That was very, very clever for him to go ahead and edit that player out the box.
Blake,
he almost caught himself a little highlight right there, but now it's all up to Blake, and he gets his shirt off kicked right back to the lobby.
Yeah, that sucks.
Rivox, Jojo, Eoxy, and Intake Pikes now looking very good this game here. Surge secured. Eliminations in the bag.
Rituals,
and on their way to endgame they go. That's a tough elimination for Seizjack and Blake too. We're in 11th place.
They got Peterbot back
just on the heels of top 10 now, so that's going to be a full reset for them. Eoxy, Jojo, and Fishy were in 16, so up they jump now on their way to top 10.
Yeah, it's just tough. The history of Blake is just not on since his 16 finals. And he's contested through both of them as Taram just
that's what I'm saying.
That's such a smart move. Instead of just trying to go for some damage, because you see his teammate is also in the zone with him. He's just trying to play it passively. Let them go on by. Don't worry about us. You didn't see nothing.
And Kanata's been low.
Kind of live to tell the tale because Ritual, Peterbot, and Cold, they hear the action
rapid
going down.
Kanata and Bo's going for Island
overall.
They are literally keying into Chimp, Skittles, and Victor V right now. Anything can happen there. Pay attention to the feet. Well, as I say it, Victor V goes down immediately. We'll catch up in a second. Bolts, Kanata, Rapid though. Top 3 on the conversation right now.
They're going for
in the lead here. One of these teams that are going to be surely set up for success now, given that they're going to be securing a medallion here shortly. This is going to be a big, big opportunity for them. Notice though, we've seen this, happen in the group stages where the medallion goes to Bolts, right? I wonder if that's going to continue to be the story here. It should be. However, talk about a big situation. Let's look at the highlight. Oh, it was a beautiful tag there, and the timing couldn't have been better because his squad had Void only maxed out into another fight. GG's.
Yeah, really catch him on the tail end.
Clix still in. I think Clix is still in.
And that's them just adapting very, very quickly. Because remember, to start the game, Peterbot and them, they were taking a fight, and Peterbot went down, which means they were slower than normal to try to get their surge. So they really trying to make up for that lost time. Encrypted Sales trying to do the same thing, 95 points. They got into the Major 1 finals through their consistency.
24 plus.
So they're looking to make that hold true here yet again. They don't have a far rotation to go. It does look like they might try to take advantage of this shrine. If they do have one of those water sprites, 2, 1 charge, they can use this to try to recharge it, kind of gain some heals that they can take him with them into the end game.
Meanwhile, Minish, Braids, and Visuals, though, trying to make up for lost time here. They're keying another
Braids
team. It's
ability.
Mason. Mason caught off guard. Collapsed on. Caught while fishing. There's so much loot here for them to pick up as well. And this is going to be a major, major come up for any team that walks away from this. Meanwhile, Ritual, Peterbot, Cold, just thinking that this is also an opportunity for them as well. They can't mess around with the storm. They don't have the luxury to do so. They've been in there way too long now.
They're not scared. They're going.
And it makes you wonder, have they done enough damage, right? They've obviously been in these skirmishes, but with Peterbot being down, they're probably feeling like the pressure's on.
Peterbot got taken out, but
I know it's not a big deal, but did you just see what Peterbot just did? So what was that? Ritual threw down the water sprite to get heals, and typically there's like a 20-second recharge on it. Peterbot just picked it back up, dropped it again. That's 60 straight HP for them, and now they're up into tip-top shape. 200 shield and HP instantly to try to fight and take control of this situation.
Cold
the little
right
things
there before the Void Oni mask goes out. The Minish Visuals and Braids, though, not letting them.
They're not letting Peterbot get any ground on them.
You know, very good to see Visuals, Braids, and a Minish hold it down right now. Not many teams can full stop a push coming from Cold, Ritual, and Peterbot, but they've managed to successfully do it.
They have.
And I like how they're playing together, because Visual and Braids back last year when it was duos, they were always a threat, always a team that you look at with potential to get into the top 5. They were playing in the championship last year. Minish has always been one of those threats, those dark horses looming around, just waiting for an opportunity. Now they kind of converged on the one trio, and you can see from north side of the map to south side of the map, they're trying to take control of their own game, getting aggressive when they need surge, backing off when they don't. So that way they can try to play consistent, because they know it's 12 games throughout 2 days, and they can't get gassed out early.
And there's no double. There's no 1.5
looking to continue to stay topped
tomorrow.
off right now. Sphinx for deal. I like this spot that they found themselves in right here, kind of playing this outer edge, the little bit of land mass and pressuring teams on the other side of the water. Can also get sufficient here to really put themselves in a good mid-game position. Meanwhile, Noxy, Curly, and Virgo taking full advantage of this outside rotate here. No one in sight to give them any pressure. Little do they know, though, they're inching their way towards Visual, Braids, and Minish, Peterbot, Cold, right? All these teams that are kind of playing the northern outskirts. Danger can be looking to set in. They've been spotted out. There's a team watching from up above, but doesn't seem like they have angles on them just yet.
I'm not sure if anyone's on the island. There's Birdo.
Yeah, they're hoping by being 741.
There's a Minish. The Minish over there.
Kind of focus on rotation.
Visuals and Braids are they there? They're coming over. They're coming over. Look at Doxy. There's two teams
because that damage
close
that they've
to
already
each other.
accumulated
Doxy in the bush. Do they know? Does they know?
And you spotted out that team yourself, rotating close by with the whole zone pushing towards the south. I think both
they got to be careful because Braids,
whether you see each
Braids
other
are
or not,
right there.
Braids
can beam them
first
because they're in the water.
These out of zone skirmishes.
Especially if Braids decides to open on them, but Creo, Zeus, Tony, one goes down here. A fight by the islands, and already a collapse coming in here. This is a team that seems to be under some serious pressure right now. Liam, full keying, Fredbot as well.
Liam, not
I wonder if the
Fredbot. They're going.
has anything
They don't
to do
care.
with it right now in the
one of
storm
them
here.
was
They
the one that
loot.
took out
Look at this.
Peterbot.
They end up
They were the one that took out
here.
Peterbot.
Playing bully ball
when Peterbot got taken out down this game. They're still
come
in.
up.
They might be able to get a lot of placement points. They need a
And
lot
then
of
off
people
they
to
go.
go
So
down.
just
They're trying to
content with being able to at least
teleport.
secure some
Where's
heals here.
Clicks? Clicks is still in, I'm pretty sure. They have a good game. They could do good. There's Cold, Rituals,
Same one that took
Peterbot. They're by island right now. I don't know if they got. They didn't get the island because Kadada
You're seeing a good portion of the teams having to rotate from this far back portion of the zone.
Island, but they're still on
instead
island.
of gliding, they were there. They're going to
Peterbot
try
try
to
to teleport.
use the orbs. That way, they're not
stuck.
slowly gliding down, susceptible to shots from across the map,
see,
especially with how much distance
I don't
they
see
do
Clicks,
have to
but I'm
cover.
pretty sure he's still in the game.
Look at this though.
Unless
They're
you
still
got
not
taken
safe
out.
here. Too many
wasn't
teams
here.
situated in front of them.
I'm
They're gonna have
pretty
to switch
sure
up the
he's still in the
angle. I
game.
was
I
gonna
haven't
say
seen him get eliminated.
definitely not going straight. They're gonna have to pull left here into even more congestion now though on the outskirts.
There's Clicks, Batman, Booga, and
Meanwhile,
Yamso
Acorn,
under.
Boyo,
There's
Agers
Boyo right there.
slowly making their way in right now.
They're watching
Press,
them. They're watching
Clicks
them.
and
Rapid
Drew though are
bolts
only
and
15
get out
damage
of
above,
there.
so
There's
this is a
Clicks
tough spot
under
to be
them.
in.
Clicks is under them.
Although they have this
they're below.
really
They need to
nice
get someone
high
in,
ground
so
hold
they're
here.
beaming. Oh
wonderful tag
shoot,
now.
Fredbot's
That's a
1
Fred there.
HP right now.
It's gonna buy them a
They're
little
trying
bit
to
of
get,
time
yeah, they
here.
just got some surge above. They just got above now.
Also recognizing the pressure coming in. This might be a full set of
There's
eliminations.
Clicks there
just
under.
waiting to get
Clicks
picked
and
up right
Emma,
now.
I think they're
Other
they're
teams
low,
now
they're
joining in the
low-key,
pressure.
like, ready under them, I think. Mr. Vita's eliminating himself.
Yeah, this zone pool is going to be their best friend. They have the high ground. They know every team.
They got the high ground
Have
now.
to rotate on out.
Clicks and Batman Boo and them, they're about to take them out. You see, they're good. They're taking advantage of them fighting. They are getting eliminations, I think. There's Cold, Cold Ritual Peterbot. They're trying to get in on they're trying to get in on Tony and
as soon as they
stuff.
take some shots, you see them slowly.
There's Clicks just got an elimination. He just got an elimination.
Survive, live to tell the tale, so that way you can finally pop off.
He got
and get
one
the
of them.
wins that we know they
One of
can.
those eliminations.
See,
There's
this is an important fight for them right now. If they can get the refresh, this high ground is going to be theirs. No problem for the end game. However, the damage has been done. The team up top seems like they were fighting for Surge, so very different.
Peterbot, they're not.
Look at this, Peterbot.
They're in
now
low
inching
ground.
their
They're
way
just
towards
trying to
another
play
team.
low
This is
ground.
for the
They're
refresh
so
here.
much
They don't
above
need the damage.
that
They
they
want the loot.
don't need to worry about Storm Surge, but they don't
know
care.
They're one of the
They're
further
just
back
pushing.
teams. Nobody behind them, so they're trying to use that advantage, push the team in. Possess trying to go on the other
Yapko,
side. I
Muzz,
believe
and
that
Rise.
was the moment right there, separated from everybody else. But if you see that, it's Bird. No, it's a Plague. No, it's Yapko, Rise, and Muzz on top of Shattered Span. Haven't really had to move an inch from the start of the game.
They're just up
Getting
there.
blessed
They're
with
just
the zone.
camping
They're
up
really
there.
taking
They're just
advantage
ready.
of the fact.
They're just watching everyone move, and they're just ready to shoot anyone.
This is incredible. This is our second most consistent team so far. Placement-wise, coming out of Game 1, Game 2, Yapko, Muzz, and Rise have found themselves in such a key position right now. And they are untouchable, quite literally. There's no way anyone's going to even dare to challenge them right now.
Oh, there's Bucky,
Okis. It's not just them, it's Bucky, Okis as well. On the other side,
Bucky and Okis are right there.
Visual to remember right here.
Bucky, Okis,
this is something you only see in a game like Fortnite.
They're on the other side. They're on the other side of the bridge.
And for this game right here, you can't
I don't know if they know.
this, right? This is just chance and occurrence right now. It's going straight over the water. Very rare play out,
Bolts,
I would
Kanata,
say,
and
as far as
Rapid,
the zone's
they're going
concerned.
for...
Gotta
I don't
be
know who
prepared
that
right
is,
now to
but-
expend a lot of materials, so if you don't have them, you gotta start looking quick. Bolts, Kanata, Rapid, not too far off from their drop spot either. They're able to save a lot of the
Raids and
resources.
Ambush
Zone
just
beginning
took
to open
out
up. They can
someone.
one-hop it with the Void Orb if
is
they want.
Felt
But
his
105
death, I think.
damage above the threshold. They
There's-
know as
where's
soon as they get
Clicks?
to the other
Clicks still
side, they
alive? I
gotta
think
start to
Clicks
look
still
back. They
alive.
gotta start to get active, so they don't worry about
Here
it
it
later.
is.
But Yapko
Just
gets
got
caught out.
elimination.
Big find
Peterbot.
by Peterbot, get the elimination.
Ritual
But
got
gets
taken
dropped
out.
as
Ritual
well.
got
They
that.
bring it
Ritual
down
got
to a
knocked.
2v2 in this fight.
Once again, they find themselves just not as a trio in the end game. This is what's holding them back right
Cold.
now. This time, it's Cold and Peterbot who have to work with one another.
Batman Booga just got an elimination.
Continuously
Yanzo got
and I'm gonna say
got
this
that
very
elimination.
lightly,
They
IGL
got that
of
elimination.
the
They're getting
team
placement
because
points.
they
Clicks,
are
Yamso and Batman
so
Booga, they're
good.
getting those placement
However,
points. They're ready.
Clicks and team already
There's
on the move,
Bucky
looking
there.
very strong
Bucky,
here. Meanwhile,
Okis,
Jack
and
Cole Rise, the first to the
Raids.
punch right now, already set up.
Peterbot and
Peterbot
Cold as a duo now. They don't have a trio. Ritual died in the process. Yapko, Muzz, and Rise they're still on height. Okis just got an elimination. They're trying to get those placement points up. Bucky and Okis, they're doing their best. Clicks, Yanzo, and Batman Booga over there. There's everyone. There's still 14 teams left. 38 people.
Back up to the spot they were at before on top of the bridge. So
there's
far away
Batman
from anybody
Booga
else. I don't
threats,
think there's
not
a
Batman
chance you
Booga.
can one over
Booga
to the top
threats
without
and
just a little bit of
Aviv
elevation,
down
and
there.
That's exactly what they're looking for. Everybody else down below has to go through the raging waters that you were talking about, expending a lot more materials, which means that somebody sooner or later is going to have to get a refresh that they need in order to keep alive. Agers, Poyo, Acorn, not at this moment, but barely 91 above the damage threshold, so it's not going to be easy for them either.
Well, this is the team that's been the most consistent, so we'll see what they can do. What
Golden
a
Peterbot
difficult
right there by
end game to
Skittles.
play
They're
right
trying
now.
to get
Very unique
Skittles.
zone here.
Skittles is trying to get out.
Peterbot, Cold still working as a two-man team. So far, so
Peterbot
good.
and Cold, they're
But now the
still
zone pressure
cooking
starting to
so
come. Void
good.
Oni start to come
Even
out.
though they're
They don't even
only
have
a
time to
duo.
really look
They
up and
don't
angle
really
it
matter.
correctly.
They're
They
still
just
crazy
are trying to
anyway.
get to the safe zone. Meanwhile, Jack, Muzz, and They just want the high ground here, right? Rise, they want to get back to their position, get back to these old builds.
They're getting back up to the top, guys.
As ever up top. They'll just be able to ride this end game out right now, but one thing's for certain, they're running out of material.
There's Puyo.
Uh-oh, first place looking like you're getting ripped
Puyo
apart.
just went down.
Acorn's
Agers is the only one left now.
Agers getting
He's in a
pressured
bad
by
situation
himself.
right now.
This is
He's
a
getting
perfect
beaten by the
opportunity
whole
for them to
lobby.
close
And
the
they're
gap
down.
on
They're
that
above. They're
leaderboard,
above the
but it's up to
sorcerers. They're
Agers
fine.
for
Poe's down.
to keep them in contention of that.
Code is down.
Finds one big shot, but not able to get the elimination.
Agers
looking for more.
Agers trying to stay alive. Boats just took out a guy.
The NA region knows
This is
Agers
getting
is one of the
crazy
best
right
when it
now.
comes down to box fighting.
There's
Do
Peterbot's the only
not
one
count
left.
him out right now. Peterbot though,
But
is
he
the
doesn't
last
matter.
alive as
He's
Cold
still
falls on the rotate here. It's
he's
not
a wrecking
looking good.
crew.
He's
Don't
out of
matter.
material.
Unless
Are the
someone
best
knows where he
falling
is, he
now
could just
short
take everyone
in this
out.
last game here. Peterbot though has to figure
Peterbot's
something out.
trying to
No
still
chance for
speed it.
elimination
He's
just
trying to
yet.
stay.
But also the
But
lobby's so
they know
distracted.
that. They know
Everyone
now.
focused on
Batman
the
Bluga
rotates
clicks.
here. The Void
Batman
only has
Bluga
still in
clicks
hand
and
here.
they're down.
This is a chance for Peterbot to find one, but
And
no.
then
There it
Yamcha
is.
just took
Samats
one out.
finally
Namus
picked
took
up
out
now.
Video.
Up he goes
Yamcha
with
just
the
got
Void only
eliminated.
mask.
They
That's
got
all that
11
he
now.
couldn't
They just
climb
went
if you
down.
He wanted to, but
Quicks
no.
just went down.
Finally, he falls in a short game
Peterbot
for
just
him.
went down, and they got
And the best
a
of
lot
the
of people.
struggling now, but
Yapko, a lot of
and
people
Rise are
can
here to
pass
take
him now.
advantage.
I
A
don't
lot of
think
people can
anybody
pass
would have
Clicks,
guessed the
Bluga,
games to go the way
Clicks,
that
all
they're
of them
going
people.
right now. Bluga threats
Muzz
and Beans
still
trying to
going.
make
Muzz
some
and
plays
Threats.
down below. Find a big elimination,
No,
keeping
not
them
Muzz
alive.
and
That's their
Threats.
second one of the
Threats,
game so
Bluga,
far.
and
But
Beef
Threats
still
needs some
going.
help. They gotta
Bucky.
have his back. The pressure
Bucky's
coming
still
in a
in, bro.
second, but at least
Bucky's
he's
still
got the
in.
time that he needs to heal. Make it through these
Bucky just
top
got
9
killed.
teams left in the game,
Bluga.
and not all of
Bluga's
them are
focusing
feeling
on
this
Ocus.
move.
Ocus. Bucky's dead. Ocus is still alive. Praise is still alive. Rapid Kanata still alive.
Will you be able to send yourself to the
Yeah,
Global Championship?
Ocus trying to
Really up
Ocus,
for grabs right now, but
Bucky and
the
them are they're
finals
trying to get
is
their
up for
placement
stakes
points.
as well.
All of them
Meanwhile,
people, there's still
Kanata,
8 teams.
Rapid looking pretty decent. They
My
have control
team
of the
went down,
medallion.
but
We
it's
already
okay.
saw
Ocus
Peterbot can
still
do it.
alive. They
You got
could get a
limited
good
sprint.
placement.
You
They
can't
could
be
win it
seen.
all.
It's just so
But there's
powerful
still people in
the
height, I
right
think.
hands, and Kanata, one of the fastest here to use it.
Ocus got
Obviously,
eliminated
you
on
can see him
Threats.
going ahead and getting to work now. He's
Ocus
gonna
is
find
dead.
Ocus. The siphon starts to come in. More material for him now. He gets to work
There's
with that.
still one more. I think they got Ocus dead, but
Yourselves in, 'cause it looks like we're going for a wild
shoot.
ride. One elimination.
Ocus
Bill's
tried.
looking around. He finally gets
Ocus-
found out of Build.
Oh,
Cannot
Rise
protect
still
himself.
alive.
He's gonna get dropped. Muzz,
There's
Yapko,
Rise
they drop
still
down
alive,
from above.
Muzz
They're
still
trying to take the
alive.
fight while they have the
Rise,
advantage.
Rise, and
3v2
Yapko's trying to
situation.
get
It's
take out
visuals.
visuals.
It's
It's a
underneath the duo that's
3v2
trying to
with
hold
Raze
strong.
and
Zone
visuals.
after zone, they're rotating
Yapko
towards the
and
north. They don't have the
Rise
upper
and
hand,
Muzz
but
trying to
this
get
is
their
chance
first
to really
victory
shock
out
the
of the
crowd.
day.
Visual Braids and the Minish have continued to put out great
Got
performances,
him.
but Muzz, Japko, and Rise have just
Muzz,
looked better,
Japko, and
Muzz
Rise
secures
got the
another
victory
on the
out
big
for
stage
game
here, and
3.
he does it in great fashion, and just like that, it looks like the leaderboards will be potentially changing now as Rise,
lot.
Japko, and Muzz, one of the most
No, it's gonna change
decorated
a lot, you
teams
know what I mean?
on the NA region right now, put up a great performance.
And this is just another one of those teams, Monster. Everybody's questioning roster changes. Why did you go with him? Why did you go with who? This is the moment for them to prove that this roster change is worth it. And the international team, the global sensations, not only second in consistency,
Yeah, we'll
they
Muzz
win the
and
third
Rise.
game of
He's
the day
trying
and
first
really
down, 'cause
caused some
Puyo
promotion
went
to that
down.
leaderboard. And as soon as they were able to get the high ground,
Quicks
there
is
was
my
no
team went down. Clicks
looking
went down.
back from
They
that
got like
bridge at
11,
Shattered
9.
Span to the
Peterbot
mountains
got like
over
11.
across. They are now
And
in
stuff,
first
so-
place.
Listen, I'm going to say what everyone's thinking. You know, Muzz, you're not OC anymore. You're just NA. We're just going to go ahead and adopt you right into the fold here.
Yeah, I
You've
know.
been competing
Muzz
on NA
is
for way
crazy.
too
He won a
long.
championship
He is
on
representing
OCD.
so
He is actually
well
from OCD.
as he continues to pop
And-
up. And look at
but
Japko
he's
working
still
here, too. Really
success in
setting up
NA
the
too.
critical eliminations there
crazy.
so Muzz can go ahead and win the game. What a victory.
Muzz,
Game
Yapko, and
3
Rise probably
is
in
wraps,
first place
and now
out because
we
of
get to
that.
send on over to Zeke.
Gods can bleed. I cannot believe it. Mr. Worldwide's plural. They come out with a victory royale. And man, this lead, when y'all see these standings later on, are going to shock you. I did not think that we would develop leads like this, but because of that victory royale, this is why they're so important, Kelly, right? Pairing this up with eliminations, consistency. Now, Muzz is ahead of the pack. I don't even know. We're going back and forth, boys. We're going back and forth.
I mean, speaking of going back and forth, that zone was
Yapko
just
and Rise getting their
disastrous
second
for
win,
so
ready their
much
first
of
win.
the lobby, but it was
Yapko
exactly
is
what
a
Muzz,
up-and-coming
Yapko,
Rise.
and Rise wanted,
With
having
Yamzo
that
and they
shattered
got
span zone,
second,
then
or
going
they got
into the water,
fifth
then
because
going
of
back
that
to the
internet
bridge,
problem.
just
They went
gave
down
them
because
such
of that.
control
And
over
Muzz
high
tried to
ground.
get his, I
Pretty
think,
much
fourth
everyone else was
FNCS title.
just using their mobility
Fourth
to be able
FNCS
to
title, I think,
traverse the
if he
end
wins.
game
But
here.
this is
But of
only
course,
day one, so
Yapko, Muzz,
not
Rise
yet.
took
No.
advantage of that. We're able to grab a ton of
That
eliminations.
team went down.
And I
Clicks,
love, of course, the play
but
dropping
Clicks
down
is
low,
there.
trying
He's
to
getting
grab
being
more
going
refreshes,
consistent.
trying to
So
grab
he's
some
still,
mats
I
and
think it's
everything
still
so
a
that
top
he can
10, but
continue
he
controlling.
went down in top 10.
Yeah, I mean that's what this entire game was all about. Just
But
control,
Oak is,
like Ellie
Oak
mentioned
is,
right there. A lot of our
Oak is,
top teams as well
Bucky,
couldn't
and
control
I think
the rest of
Graze.
the lobby.
They had a
went
pop
down,
off
so
game.
this is a huge
They got
opportunity
like
for Muzz,
fourth.
Rise, and Yapko to kind of
Like they
boost
did so
themselves up
good.
the
They probably
leaderboard.
got so many
Incredibly
eliminations. They
well
probably like
played from this
they
trio.
I think they
mean,
went up
zone
in the
lane
standings
right
because
over
they
by
were
where
low,
they land
but I
early
think
on
they're
in the
now
game.
high.
That's how you take full advantage of it. Love to see that from this trio.
Man, that was my zone, by the way. I designed that myself. You guys are welcome.
Oh.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. I
Oh,
did that.
thanks,
That's me.
Zeke.
Good writing.
That is crazy. With that being said, that is game number 3. We still have so much more to break down, but first, a short break. When we return, more action here from the FNCS.
I'll be right back, guys.
Welcome back, everyone, to the FNCS. We just wrapped up game number 3. In case you missed it, you're tuning in, welcome. You have missed 3 crazy games. Highly recommend you go back and watch them. But Muzz, Yapko, Rise got themselves the victory route in that last game. We just wanted a couple highlight, just really quickly, how they got that victory out. Guys, back in 7th zone, they were just perched on this beautiful spot, overlooking just this amazing shattered span here. The moment the zone pulls away, they have just got to be like, guys, this is ours, right? I mean, there's just no way we don't win this game.
I mean, it seems a bit obvious, seeing as how that is their POI, but taking full advantage of it, being able to
Rise
perch
taking that
themselves
game.
up, be 1,000 damage over Storm is just going to give them so much ability to kind of control, as we said earlier, the end game, and that's exactly what they did right there, being able to rotate that from to the water back to the bridge. It was just smart, standard Fortnite play right there.
No, honestly, I gotta tip my hat to them as well, because usually when sometimes the zone kind of pulls to your POI, it's actually not as easy to get Storm Surge, right? Because you're usually kind of like posted up. Teams try to, you know, avoid you as much as they possibly can, because it's very obvious to where you're going to be at. But the fact that they were kind of like 1,000 above right there means that they had something definitely figured out for that zone. So again, well played by them.
Yeah, just so crazy indeed. Let's take a look at these standings. So remember, we have 6 games today, 6 games tomorrow, and then we'll have Major 1 finalists.
Clix is not even in there
Take a
yet.
look, guys, this lead. After that victory
Where's
royale,
Clix?
look how far ahead.
Oh, Clix, Booga, and Neons
are ahead of
4-8
everyone
now.
else. It's just Agers,
Oh.
Acorn,
Peterbot,
right
they're still
behind.
there.
But when we think about
They gotta
what
know.
we
They have
came
Parades
in
and
on,
Ambush
right?
and
Like,
Visuals. They have had
what a
some top
lead we
twos.
have developed.
Big top
And
twos
what's
in the last
crazy
2
from
games.
the other side,
And they're now in
Agers, Poyo,
4th.
and Acorn. In that last game, they placed 13th with 1 elim. So for a single moment, they let the foot off the gas, and that was enough for Muzz, Yapko, and Rock. For a Agers, Poyo, and Acorn, in that, let the foot off the gas at Victory Royale.
Definitely, but Poyo, Agers,
6
and
people
Acorn are
win.
not
Like
going to
and
be giving it
subscribe.
up that
Use code
easily.
POD4
And
shop.
although they did go
We're
down
watching
in 13th
FNCS,
place right there,
hopefully
Agers
you
still
like it.
had to pull out
Thank
a
you for
solo clutch
watching,
after
guys.
Poyo went down right
We're
here.
gonna keep watching.
And honestly,
We're about
it's
a
interesting.
game.
When Trios
4
first started, a lot
match
of people
4
were
starts in
talking
less than
about
2
how
minutes, so we're
in
gonna
the
keep
end game,
watching.
once a
Let's
player
do
goes
it.
down, like in duos competition, that's when you're gonna have to solo clutch.
My
and we're not
boys
going to see
Clix
that with
and
Trios.
them, they weren't
That
4th,
does
now
not
they're
seem
in
to be
8th.
the case
They just need to
for
have a
NA
good game
finals
this
right
game,
now,
and
where
they
it's
gotta
more
just
likely
focus up.
that instead of it just being 2 players
how you
winning the
doing,
end game,
Wyndham
it does come
Cowser?
down
How you
to
doing?
a solo clutch, and so many of these players in North America have that ability
doing?
in spades to be able to just kind of run in the back of the lobby and keep their placement points climbing up.
Yeah, definitely working wonders right now for a lot of our teams. The top 5 is also
You
seemingly
doing
kind of
Evo
ironing
surveys?
itself
I-
out,
no,
point
I'm
away
sorry.
from
I
the
don't
rest
really
of
have-
the lobby. Peterbot,
No, I
Cold,
wish
and
I
Ritual,
could, bro,
though,
but I
mean,
can't.
we said it after last
I don't
game.
really
We're like,
got
yeah, they haven't had a
any,
good game yet.
I don't
Game 3,
have any like
also
contributions.
not
like,
a
I
good
can't,
game.
like give
but I
any
can't
bad
lie.
like, yet, but when
For
I
3
do, I will.
quote-unquote bad games. They're in 3rd place.
Good, Howard.
And I feel like they're
Good,
still
Howard.
in the
I'm doing
conversation,
good.
and they're still
I'm watching this
close
FNCS.
enough,
It's
the first and
crazy
second,
FNCS.
where
I'm
if they
rooting for
just have
Clix
that
because
good
he's never
game,
had a
that
chance.
Peterbot
He's
Cold
never had
Ritual
anything.
game,
If he wins,
then
this
they'll be
whole
up there as
trio
well.
gets there every the next
It's
DS title. But
crazy.
he was in
to
4th,
look
now
at
he
the
went down to
leaderboard
8
right
because
now,
of game 3.
and it is
It's getting
160
crazy,
points
Muzz,
between
all these people.
1st and 10th
It's getting
place.
crazy. I'm
And
not
we're
gonna
at the
lie.
halfway point right now for day 1, right? So that's the
This is-
quarter point for the entire
Yeah,
tournament.
so hopefully you have
tons
a
of
good,
games still
or
ahead,
hopefully
tons of
you watch
opportunities for
maybe.
things
If
to
not,
change and everything.
have a good day. I
but
appreciate you
there
for
is
joining.
definitely a lead shaping up right now for our top 2. But I think anyone in the top 9, where we just saw Vidil Cooper and Sphinx jump into our top 10 finally, I think that there's still plenty of opportunities for them over the next 9 games.
For sure, and this is still day 1, right? We'll still have time for the trios to come back, to prepare,
All right,
to
thank you
VOD
for joining,
review, to
Wayne.
talk to coaches, and come back with a plan for day
Appreciate
number
you for
2.
being
So
here.
let's not get crazy. No one's sounding any alarm bells. Peterbot, we're good though, right? Like, we're good. We just need to have like a good pop-off game, and then we can do that now. You want to do that now? Okay, I'm sorry. I was just talking to someone. Don't worry about that. Anyway, guys, it is that time. We are halfway through day number 1, so let's jump back into the action with Monster D-Face, Jacob PR.
And it happened yet again. We got a new elimination leader that I want to go ahead and talk about. Yapko, after winning that game with the rest of his trio, he's on top with 14 eliminations, almost 4,200 damage throughout these first 3 games. Now we go to the second half of the day. Are you going to be looking for any adjustments from them or anybody else?
Yeah, I think Zeke said it best. He's writing the script here. He's calling in some new plays right now, so we're going to have to see how things are going to shake up. Those first 3 games, just a telltale of what's to come. I think we are still yet to see the best from a team like Peterbot. Even in the start of that last game, they, again, out of the ordinary, fell very early, right?
Skin
so
with that
they
big
have
eye.
to get their footing. Let's see
That's
if
a
though,
sweat
it's game
skin,
number
yeah.
4. Sounds
Because
like it's
Peterbot
ready.
was wearing it. Yeah, it kind of is a sweat skin. The regular Catwoman and the
Throughout
Catwoman
the
Zero
first
is
three
both sweat
games of the
skins.
day today, we've already seen teams
They are
making
sweat
some
skins here,
quick
dude.
adjustments to their strategy.
In my opinion, I
if you
think,
think
because
back in game
the
number
pros
one,
are
you saw how
wearing it, yeah.
stacked it was in terms of players alive.
Last
left
game,
in the
Peter
lobby.
bought Cold
I
and,
think throughout those games, they're
Rituals
getting
were
more
wearing it,
and more riskier to take these fights because they realize
It
once
is.
you get to 7th, 8th,
And
9th
Clicks,
zone, it's not
Batman
as easy
Booga
to
and
get Storm
Yum, so they
Surge.
were wearing
Yeah, it
they
really
were wearing
does
the
look like
regular
the lobby
Catwoman.
starting to settle in, get comfortable, and play to their
So
strengths
yes,
overall.
to your question, yes.
We do
I'm gonna
have
watch
to,
this
of
game
course,
when
look
it's
at
starting.
Game 3 as an outlier. That end game, very unique, very critical, right? Piece of land that
Skittles-
Muzz, Javco, and Rise were able to
Skittles
claim
dropping-
first, almost secure
Skittles
the
dropping
victory
with
out
Chimp
at that
and
point.
Victor V.
So, with
They
that
haven't
in
had.
mind,
They've had an
anything
okay.
can still happen
They've been
right
doing
now, right? I
okay.
think
They
it's
haven't
just
been
it's
doing
going to
the
come down
best.
to a matter of can you bounce back and keep your mental sharp now as we're in the back half of the tournament here as game number 4 is just starting up.
Contested fight that we've seen all too long. I say semi-contested because throughout the past couple of games, talking about adjustments from game 1, they were kind of fighting all out for it. Last couple of games, slowly but surely taking their time, splitting Magic Mosses, making sure that they at least have a shot to play some of these games out. And already does look like Osid, a full loadout from heals to weapons to his movement. Has what he needs, just kind of going with the rest of his team, but these are a lot of those contested fights that we're seeing today, including Brutal Boxcars.
Brutal Boxcars continues to fight it out here. Nerface, Aaron, and Joji gonna have a bit of a standoff right now, but things are slow and settled here in the lobby. Very actually paced start here to game 4 so far. DGen's gonna be the first to catch some tags right now. Havoc and Sandman have the side angle.
I'm back. I'm here, guys. What's
Because
happening?
this is contested, they can't even take advantage of Brutal Boxcars to its fullest. Because you think back when the Brutal Boxcars first came out, it was Peter Bot Cold and Ritual landing over here. They're not landed in the BOI,
Nerface,
but on the outskirts as
Aaron,
well.
Joji
For Nerface, landing some good shots,
They're
using
going
their Fire Mask to
for
try to deal just a little bit more
Deegan
damage
and
in that
Sandman.
direction. Trying to catch Sandman off guard, but
Havoc
Havoc
is here
already moving
too.
up the side of the mountain. He's going to be the one looking back, trying to alleviate some pressure if they do take shots in that direction, which they
Sandman just got
continuously do. Sandman just almost getting eaten alive, about 50 HP remaining. Havoc
got
forced to go
beamed.
down the mountain just to save the day.
Nerface trying to throw some
Nerface still
shots
looking for
over
some
at
big
him.
openers here.
He's
Some
trying to
back
get him
and
with the
forth
fire
exchange
thing.
right now. Nothing
We're
major
showing Peter
happening
Bot
here.
here. I don't see Cold, but the
Meanwhile,
Cold is, it
Peter
has
Bot
to be
on the other
close.
side. Are they
Yeah,
on a
they're-
fast move right
they're all
now?
up.
It does seem like
Peter
they're doing
Bot's
something
like
a little
tied
bit
for like
different. What's going on
the
here? They've got
third right
more
now.
coverage of the land, but
Peter Bot
gonna
Cold.
go
I
ahead
don't know
and
what they're
group up
doing,
again.
but they're a big threat.
Yeah, because of how much space they're commanded. That spot above, there's like a slurp truck over there, 5 or 6 extra chests.
Agers
They have
is
flooded
here.
frogs all to themselves.
Curve
you're
and
kinda
Shadow.
seeing how spread out they actually are in the early
Why
game,
is
just so that way
all
they can
the
loot up,
Pollos
grabbing
downtown?
primarily just the chests. So that way they can try to move as quickly as possible to try to get Surge. And already you're seeing a little bit of a different zone. A lot of it appearing on the north side of the map. So we might see a change up of strategy.
Pollo went
And as
down.
you tune in to Acorn and Age, there's no Pollo in sight. He's already down. And that's a huge hit to the team early on.
I was curious as to how he was one of the first to fall here. But, I mean, the zone kind of played its way on this western side, so sort of makes sense if they touched down first. They were targeted
There's
for some
Noxy.
reason. We'll keep an
Visuals
update
and
there,
air
but
push try to go for
Cruz
Doxy now.
diminished on the hunt right now. What a game for them so far. Sleeper trio, if you want to call it that, right? I don't think anyone had them comfortably inside the top 5, let alone top 3 position, but they're at 188 points. Virgo, Noxy, and Curly have also played spectacular so far. 159 for them here. Teams that are looking to set themselves up for not only a nice paycheck, but keeping themselves in a conversation for a finals win. Do you imagine that?
Yeah, and when you talk about like VOD reviewing from day 1 to day 2, this is a team. If you land on the south side of the map, I would be very, very important to VOD review them because already we've seen them push multiple different locations after their drop in order to get the Storm Surge that they need. That's allowing them to play consistent as they are. So if you're going to VOD review anybody, that's going to be one. So you tune on Muzz, Yapko, and Rise. Slow game plan for them right out of the gate. Storm Surge isn't necessarily the first priority for them when they drop top. It's all about just looting up because they're on the center of the map for the most part, maybe a little bit towards the east, but that allows them, wherever the zone pulls, north or south, to kind of rotate there quickly. The only side that they're worried about is if it goes all the way towards the west, which typically doesn't happen until 4th or 5th zone.
The Cash Cup King, Buzz, shining on the FNCS stage once again. You love to see it. One of the favorites of the community, I dare say. Japcon Rise, complimenting him very well right now. And yeah, we didn't even highlight, this was their draw spot.
Hold up, guys.
It literally ended right here, and they did exactly what you're supposed to do, win the game.
Zone pulling towards the south. This is just outside Pump Power, Demons Jojo. That's to the south of there. Ralphie Possessed Diego plays. They land all the way towards the north. Some of the farthest north pool in the map if it does continue to go south. So they're going to be one of the teams that are hurting when the zone goes south, struggling to get surge, having to kind of prioritize what's most important for them on their path there. And it's not going to be easy because you have to go against teams like Kanata, Bolts, Rapid on your way to the zone.
Yeah, first I thought we were getting a north or maybe like a far west, but this zone's starting to really tug its way back. Diego possessing Ralphie overall have to put up some big numbers right now. And look at this, they're very far behind overall on material counts. They're scrapping this entire place down pretty quickly. It's got the attention of a trio outside. Meanwhile, Cold, Ritual, and Peterbot once again. Ritual just seems to not be able to really catch his footing here. And it's all up to Cold and Peterbot now. This is back-to-back performances now where one of, someone on the trio falls in the early game and the surge is active. Very reminiscent of game number 1.
I'm about to say 91 surge. When was the last time we see 91 surge in the FNCS finals lobby? And it just goes to show this is how important it actually is. But the third party coming in, Peterbot once again forced to disengage outward, but just a little bit too slow. Cold gets caught on the mix. He gets knocked down. And now Peterbot's left by himself this early in the game. That's a disaster again that I don't think anybody would expect.
This is not good. I would say it's great for the overall story, right? To give Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold something to fight for, given that everyone's concern was like, was the FNCS going to be a steamroll for what is arguably the strongest trio coming into this, the favorites, if you will. But so far, when the finals lobby ended up shaking up and the way things are looking right now, the competition is set out for them, and it seems like NA is not afraid to take on the best. Soneto, Scare, and Veer back in the game right now. They're going to be using that reboot van. That's going to be one less van now for Peterbot to leverage as well. These little things start to compound, right?
Yeah, just making it that much more difficult. Luckily for them, they can go back to Flooded Frogs itself, continue to move towards the east, and that looks like exactly where Peterbot currently is. You see just a little bit of his arrow in the mini-map. They're going to continue to rotate in that direction, mainly because of the loot. If you're going to go anywhere, you go towards a Flooded Frog type POI where you know there's a lot of scraps left behind.
Here's the thing, though. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual typically leave all the barrels there as well. So with Scare, Soneto, kind of rotating through there, they're probably naturally just going to check anyways, and they're going to take all that leftover reserve that Peterbot's team typically leaves behind. So this is really bad for Peterbot. If he's going to be banking on picking up his squad and going back to the Flooded Frogs, it's probably going to be scrapped dry, honestly.
And we know who's not going to playing heal off if it does come down to it later in the game. Peterbot's going to have to trust Ritual and Cold if he does get the reboots back. Send another one of our Juggernaut teams in this one. Kanata, Bolts, Rapid, rotating all the way south from that Demon's Dojo. Gotta imagine how much surge they do actually have on them because of how much space they're able to get early on. A lot of the teams around their actual position probably rotating early to the zone. But since they're so far ahead of the curve right now, every other team, they're able to kind of look back and see if there's any opportunities that present themselves.
Could have been, but the team's just outside the line of sights now, so off they go. Is this a full team with Typhoons right here as well? Looks pretty sick watching them rotate on foot like that. Ooh, there it is. That trio. It's going to be first attack Kanata here. Not going to break a sweat, though.
Yeah, without some of these zones have been playing, I do like their idea to go straight over towards Seaport City or one of the surrounding mountains. I think if last game has taught us anything, once you see a lot of water in the zone, you got to start preparing and be one of the players to kind of position yourself first. And just across, they do see Muzz on top of that mountain, something that is easy to spot out, but sometimes can be very difficult to fight against.
Muzz, Reds, and Japko, though, playing this ultimate height position here. It worked once. Why wouldn't it work again? Already, though, seems like not too much traction in action here on the outside right now. Victor V, Chimps, and Skittle up against Visual, Braids, and Aminish now at the pump power. It's a fight that looks like it's going the distance here.
Hold up. Yeah.
Not too much
Okay,
of a
guys,
fan
I'm back.
of this, though. We are getting late into this kind of mid-game here.
I'll come after this game if you can't figure it
Visual's
out.
Playing a bit of a side angle. Wonder what's the play right now. Oh, they're gone.
Side, though. Yeah, I think they kind of heard the footsteps and stuff as well for Victor V, Chimp, and Skittles. Just kind of play very, very slow, going back to some hidden loot that they had before when they were fishing. And I do like the decision for both of those teams. Don't take a skirmish this deep into zone, especially when it is pulling toward the south. A lot of them will get stacked up on that side as we tune back into Peterbot, where he's successfully able to get the reboot cards for his teammates, return back to Flooded Frogs, and this is exactly what you were talking about here in this game.
Look at this, the reserve still left behind there. There are a couple splashes, but can they get the heals to maintain here, sustain, if you will, inside the storm? We know we saw a couple med kits there. Void Oni mask is out, but just looking
I'm
very
sorry.
worse for
What happened,
right now.
guys?
There goes the
Has
heals.
anything happened?
And off they go. So, all right, they've managed to kind of bounce back
Quick
into this one. I mean,
ritual,
it wasn't pretty,
hold up.
but they are alive. That's all that matters. And
I don't know
again,
what's
it's
happening.
crazy to think
I
these
had
are
to
what
do
their
something.
bad games look like. Somehow they rebound,
sorry,
somehow they
guys.
still secure points. And they surely have done a good amount of damage, right? At least before things kind of collapse against them.
There's Sphinx, Cooper, and Video here.
So the first thing on their
Still
mind
30
is
teams
surging
up,
to get the
88
zone.
people.
Sphinx,
I don't
Cooper,
know
Video,
about
Video's
who
gotten
did go
on.
down while I was
You
away.
see them
Hopefully
progressively
my
getting
team's
better and
still up.
handling
No,
their
my
own
friend-
storm surge
yeah.
situation.
Bucky,
Right now, they're
Focus.
spread out. Two of
What's
them
happening?
are just right outside Mass Meadows. The other one is towards the north, but Donnie fighting on another side of the map. Cannon's
Donnie
crossing
trying to
just
fight someone.
outside their view.
He's
They
trying to
know they
fight
have a knock
JoJo,
on to Aoxy, and they're
Oxy,
just
and
continuously trying to put down pressure. They don't let it go for free.
someone.
Big shot by Donnie yet again, backing him down, not letting the revive come to fruition. So Aoxy's instantly going to be cleaned up.
Appreciate you guys. Ritual just took out Zeus.
Like what I'm watching right now.
People are going down now.
Mike's tag right
Oh,
there,
shoot.
and the Pike's follow-up was good, but not good enough to take down Chance Guru here. His team goes and wraps things up here. Nicely done for Donnie, putting another number on the map right now. Very well played.
Hey,
Look
29
at that, they
people,
get the
29
feast here.
teams, 82,
They want to play some
29
pickup, but
trios,
the zone
82
bouncing
players still in.
back across now. We're seeing a back-to-back.
They're still down. He's still
Shattered
down
Stand
right now. Oh, they're
potentially
above.
right
Okay.
now.
I thought they were down.
out
Ritual
the replay.
went after someone.
Right
He just-
off
oh
of
my
the
God.
respawn, they're immediately going back
His
to work.
Thunder Pump
I said they
Zeus
knew how
had the
important
air,
Surge
bro.
was. Ritual
That was
making
insane.
up for going down early, gets the elimination.
Who went down?
466 above the damage threshold. Honestly, I would not have expected them to be that much above the threshold at this stage in the game, considering what we've seen so far with both Ritual and Cold getting rebooted.
You know, I was curious, you know, if Ritual
Cold.
was the
Ritual
weak
and
link
Cold
here,
got
do we think it's
Cold
like
got rebooted.
FNCS
Edgy
finals
just took out
jitters,
someone.
right? Or could it just be the luck of the draw? Sometimes things don't exactly go your way.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those questions. It's something I feel like, you know, from day one to day two, even
Oh
from
shoot!
game
Ritual
to game,
Peterbot, they're trying
talking
to
about the
push
adjustments that are
these
kinda needed
people
to make.
fighting over here.
You see another team in their line of
They're
sight.
fighting, they're
immediately
going for it,
beelining
bro.
their
They don't
way on
care.
over, interrupting
They're
a
just-
fight.
they're just
trying to
pushing.
take
They don't
advantage
really
of it
care.
while
They're
They
just-
can. They break into one.
Dude,
wall.
oh my
They get
God.
pieces on the other side. Cold gets the knock on
Destroyed
the one
someone.
and immediately separates him from the rest of his trio.
I just destroyed them, bro.
Another big elimination. Look how quickly they're making it look.
Big eliminations. Already
easy they're making it
800
look right now.
above Surge.
Cold, Ritual, Peterbot starting to heat up right
Booga,
now.
Aviv,
They
and
know that
threats
they're not
there.
gonna have a problem
in
with the damage
Seaport
moving forward
City.
here. It's just
a lot of
matter
people around
positioning
Seaport
here
City right now.
onwards.
Kwanchi just took a
Seaport City
to try to eliminate
once
Mason.
again in action here. It's almost reminiscent of the first game here. Let's see what learnings players are
Still
going to take into
29
this one
trios,
here.
80
Mask,
players still
with the
up.
big rotates here.
Still up. There's Peterbot, Cole. There's
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit
Agers
easier.
just went up.
This game, considering
Just took
compared to
out-
last,
took
but
out
Agers,
Zeke.
Acorn, they get Poyo back. 298
We got
above the Storm Surge threshold,
Poyo
but that's not
back.
going to stop them from going after Seek. They get the elimination onto him, leaving a whole trio
There's
down
Bucky
as a
and
duo.
Storm.
Immediately make it to zone, but as this one continues to move towards the eastern side of the map, a lot of the teams in this lobby are going to continue to have to rotate along with it.
Good to see Poyo back in the lobby here as well. Just a little concerned if he even made it in for a second there. When we first tuned in, they were down and out, but hasn't set him back. Look at this. They're still very comfortably in the
Visuals
lead
just
with
got a
some
knock.
damage here.
Braze
And off they go
Visuals
for a
just
big
got
rotate.
some
They're going to be
people.
cutting
Quicks,
off the rest of the
Booga.
lobby here. One of
Quicks,
the
Batman
first to go ahead
Booga,
and dive in.
and Umzo's over there. I see them in the box there. Poyo
Pretty
battling.
impressive to actually think about. We're kind of always
Battling
talking about
Bert, I
Poyo,
think. I don't know
considering he
who's
gets
that.
in moments like this, able to
that?
stay alive, pressure coming in, they overbuild to try to
I
create
don't know who
space,
that is.
but
Kanata just
it was
got
actually
a
Agers
knock on
who was teaming
Visuals.
with
Batman
Cold
Booga.
and Ritual
My
before
team.
Peterbot
Oh, shoot.
said, "No, this
Yamzo.
team's mine, taking it over."
Yamzo.
So
Oh
it's
my
great to
god.
see
They're
them
getting
contending
pushed.
above them on the threshold, and they're taking shots out of Yamzo. Clicks and Batman Booga, getting him down,
Oh,
no
shoot.
shield.
Agers,
Yamzo is
Poyo,
forced to
and-
back up with the rest of the
and
team.
Acorn,
They
they're
kind of
getting-
converge slowly
they're
but surely turtle back to try to
shooting at
save
Clicks
themselves.
and
Neither one
Batman
of these
Booga
teams
and
are currently
Yamzo.
in zone. They still got some
You're
distance to
here
cover.
and
That's
scares
exactly
here.
what I was thinking. I was like, yo, wait. These dudes are not even in zone. They're putting a lot of pressure on this team right now, trying to see if they can force him
They're
out
just
here.
gonna catch. They're gonna
Instead
get
of playing
Clicks because
Clixie,
Clicks and
Yamzo,
them are
Batman
trying to
Booga
get
in
in.
a pretty bad situation. We'll
It's
see if
bad
they've got
for
enough to
Clicks.
go ahead and bounce back. Meanwhile, Rapid
Hopefully
bolting,
Clicks and them don't
Kanata
go
the
down.
blades out.
Rapid trying
and
to
it's
take
getting
out.
pretty
Who's he trying to
crazy
take out?
here on the low ground in the Seaport City. It's going to end up working out for Rapid
got
as he
Braids.
finds Braids. One
Ritual
of the
just took out
combination
someone.
from
Rapid
Visuals, of
got
course.
Braids,
And a minute
like
here,
I just
Visuals
said.
seems to be the only one
Bolts just
standing,
took
but
out.
not for
Bolts
long as
just
Bolts
destroyed
cleans
Visual.
up this team here as well. And that's going to be a huge set of points for them right now. These eliminations really starting
Blake
to add
just
up.
got
It's going to make a difference on the
elimination.
leaderboard. As teams are starting to really approach that 200
There's
points threshold here.
Yamzo, Batman, Booga,
Meanwhile,
and
on
Clips.
the edge,
Clips,
Ritual
I
Cole
think
and
they're
Peterbot
still
is
in.
the
Yeah,
first team safe.
they are.
Clixie, Yamzo, and Batman Booga, Jacob, have now got themselves situated. It has cost them a lot. Look at their
They got
mats.
2 kills on there.
Yeah, a fight that kind of put a lot at risk, but you're seeing how they're able to get those eliminations. Scare gets tagged up, Veer gets dropped. They're able to get that elimination and immediately try to move towards zone. They clean up Scare
big.
on the way there, and you can kind of see the stats. Something I was talking about early. They won 23% of their finals lobbies. Just like Peterbot, though, they have to continue to come online.
They got to
get
keep
back
going.
into the
They
pool
got to
we
keep
know they
having
can
good
compete at.
placements. Almost
Yeah, they're
placement
still
points
very
coming
much
in
in
right
this
now.
race right now.
We're
However,
still 20
it's
teams
never
up.
been more difficult.
20 trios up, 50,
Halfway through the material
50
counts here for
players.
Clicks.
There, we
Pretty
need to
tough
get to
spot
like
be in,
17
already
to
going
get
through
some
their chug splashes
placement
pretty
points
early
coming
here.
in.
More Void Oni
Need
mass
some more
rotates
people to
coming
start
out now.
going down, but
No lines of
doesn't look
sights
like
this
anyone's
time.
going
Though. This is a
down right
clean rotate
now.
for them here.
there
One more,
are a lot of
and
people
in they are,
teleporting.
nice and safe.
Oak is
They're
still up.
positioned up
His team
amongst the
keeps getting
juggernauts here. This end
destroyed.
game's looking pretty tough so
I don't know
far,
who got Island,
but a
but they're
much better, much
they
more
just start teleporting.
favorable
Oakus is right
game
there.
than the previous one. At least we have a lot of land in play still now.
What is this, like 60% of the lobby, 80% of the lobby, almost 90
Someone is
outside of the
rebooted?
zone now. We continue to move south for the winter. A lot of the teams gonna have
Someone
to fly
just
to the sky to
rebooted.
try to match it. But Poyo, Acorn, and Agers,
then
because
I
of
think
their
they just got
proactivity
beat by the
early
air.
on, they're able to kind of take it step by step
Or
by
booting
step.
is very,
Bolt's rapid.
very
And I would say
bad.
Kanata,
If
but
you
he's
would've
already down.
rebooted someone
Force
that's
kinda
not
watched
even
this
that
one on
really
the
good,
sidelines.
because then you
Turning
just get
into a
beat
little
out of
bit
the
of a
air.
coach.
I think the
Trying to
guy
figure
that
out
got
what is
booted,
this
I don't know who
rotation,
got
how they're going to
booted,
make it. They're
but
trying to look towards the zone.
Bolts,
There's
Rapid
so
are
many
looking at
hills,
Batman,
mountains to
Booga,
overcome before
Yamzo,
they even make
Clicks.
it up there and have a straight shot to the zone.
We've seen many of the other teams in this situation. This is the first now. Bolts is going to be left to just duo
Cold
it out with
Visuals and
Rapid now.
Peterbot.
Cold Ritual,
Visuals and
Peterbot.
Peterbot still alive.
Finally situated as a full trio
got
nearly in
5
the end game.
eliminations.
Can we see them actually cross that threshold It's been so difficult for them to do. Meanwhile, it feels like Muzz, Jacko, and Rise have really figured it out. They're set up perfectly inside the new Storm right now. And look at the maps that they have in a base already situated.
Okay, there are people. Click's got elimination. Click's just got elimination. We gotta be careful. They gotta be careful. There's a lot of people fighting right now.
One set of eliminations and they're going to be taken off to the tracks here.
Bolts just got a knock. He got an elimination. Bolts just got a knock.
Still hunting.
Bolts just got eliminated.
Pressure they're putting down on the other side of the map.
Team. Rapid was the last one left. He's trying to beat G Money.
He's able to look back and see G Money. He knows 700 above the damage threshold, but that can change in the blink of an eye as he tries to scout out where he's going to position himself. You see the northeast part of that zone stacked as can be, and that's why he's going to board orb his way over the top to where he's trying to be as safe as possible for now.
Clicks and Batman Booga still alive. They got 4 eliminations now.
Back on over to Clixie, Yamzo, Batman Booga right now. Not even a quarter material in the reserves here. Very tough spot. This is a team that needs a refresher here. They're seemingly very desperate. Vidil, Sphinx, and Cooper are going to be the first to get grabbed here. Almost caught in the cone right there. The pre-edit was ready. Clicks though.
Cole just got Skittles to Storm.
Stands up to the
and there's 17 people left.
Defense there.
There's 17 teams.
And now
they're
starting to
starting
change their focus. Can they look somewhere else? Little do they know.
Looking down.
There's one
Look down. Oh my God.
Team there. Beautiful tag right there, and all of a sudden they full commit in. Very nicely
just got
done
them
for
all,
them.
bro. They just took
Hey,
out a
and
whole
get some
trio.
heals
They
to
didn't
go
even
for
know
the
that
road
trio
here. It's
didn't
not
even know
much,
what
but still,
was
the
coming.
placements and the points that they earned for the elimination is gonna be welcomed here. Look at that.
That was crazy.
That's a little bit of a refresh there.
That was
Booga
crazy.
and Aviv, a duo. Looking up at high ground, nothing
The Reds
big
got
comes out of
eliminated
it,
already before.
the fact that they're
Yamzo,
trying
Batman,
here
Blue,
shows
and
that they
Clicks,
want
they're
this
trying to
dub
get,
here.
they're behind. They're just trying to.
I would say through the qualification to get here, Booga's been playing phenomenal. I know there was a big question mark about his dedication.
Oh yeah.
New year, new him. He's back at it. He gets tagged up, trying to make his way in towards zone. He's hold his position. Probably wait for Aviv to back him up because they're the only two left
Rapid's
on that
still
trio,
alive
especially
somehow.
without threats.
Rapid's
a lot of
a solo.
firepower that they're missing. Trying to
Batman,
get up the side of the mountain.
they got
Batman
Batman
Booga doing the
Booga,
same thing, and that's the team that
Batman
Booga and
Booga,
Aviv
Clicks,
have to
and
watch
Yamzo
out
looking
for. They're
at
peeking through the
Booga.
cones. This is vital
Actual
information
Booga.
before they wait
Cold
8
Ritual,
seconds for the
Peter
next zone
Bot.
to reveal itself.
Peter Bot's just take it out. They're just, that team, I don't know, they might be unstoppable unless they get like triple push.
It would have been a high ground team every single game, but we found them more times than not down in the low ground here. And it just
There's a
feels
lot
like
of fights going on. I don't know what's happening right now.
Polio
just took out someone. Polio just knocked 2.
Polio
just knocked 2.
So
Ager's getting an elimination
really
on him.
starting to shake up here.
Booga just got knocked. Booga just got killed.
How good he's been playing, but Polio is
Aviv still, I think Aviv's still alive.
Here now. And this
Aviv is a solo now.
Right now. 7 eliminations already.
Batman Booga, Yamzo, and Clicks, they have a chance, but Rise, Muzz, and Diablo on height now. Again.
Right now. And although they have height, they don't have any.
Ritual,
Peter
Bot, Cold. I don't know if they're getting caught. There's so many teams teleporting to get in. There's so many people teleporting to get in right now. There's so many people fighting now. Yapko, they got the high ground again. I mean, this is getting crazy, bro. This is getting crazy. Polio, Azers, Edgy just got an elimination. Edgy just got 2. Rapid just got killed because he was a solo. Okis just got eliminated.
Clicks.
Peter Bot just got Rapid.
7 eliminations. No material though. This is very important. The fishing rod comes out just to pull in what they
Clicks,
can.
Yamzo, and Batman Booga trying to get enough, whatever they can.
Here and earning ever so slightly some placement points, but they got to get to this next refresh ASAP. Oh, look at this. They find a team inside the zone. It's Violet, it's Edgy, but they can't sit around and wait. They have to keep moving here.
They got to keep moving. Because the people hear them.
Just waiting for the zone to
people
open up
hear
on
them.
that left side.
And they don't have a lot of
They're
heals.
not
I don't
waiting.
think they
They're
have
going to the front side of zone, claiming all that space for themselves.
They gotta keep moving. They gotta. There's so many people right here. There's so many people. Vidil, Sphinx, and Cooper just got an elimination. Clicks, I think Clicks is right there. Are they?
Resources without getting too greedy.
No, they're not.
Not too bad now.
Clicks right there. Oh no, he just got cracked.
Meanwhile, Clicks finally goes down, but Batman Booga with a great change. Finally, though, they get Edgy and a little bit more mats. Another inch taken. Can they turn it into a mile now.
Clix is now
it's
dead.
Just up to
But
Batman
Batman
Booga.
Booga and
of
Yamzo are
course,
still alive. Top
voice
9.
of this trio right now.
They're
Batman
still
Booga,
alive,
the
but they got
firepower.
edgy.
It doesn't get much
Clix
better
had
than
4
this.
kills. Batman
Top
Booga has
10
4
now.
kills. Yamzo has
They're
1
very
kill.
much
They
in
have
the
9
game.
in total
Hydra
right now.
has
They're
no
getting as much as they
problem.
can.
Just keep
Muzz,
eyes
Rise, and
and tabs
Yapko
on
still at
Rise,
the
Muzz,
top.
and Japko.
They're just holding
Although
down
they
the
have a
high
single
ground right now.
elimination, they're just pressuring
Cold
the
Rituals
rest of
and
the
Peter
lobby.
Bot
The big
still
points,
there.
though, are in the hands of Cold Ritual and Peter Bot.
This
They are
is bad.
flying up the standings right
Cold.
now, and it's still
Ritual
active
dead.
down here.
Cold
Meanwhile,
dead.
Cold falls though. It's all
Peter
up
Bot's
to
still
Peter Bot.
alive. He's
Once
probably the big
again,
pot is
he's
stored.
the last man
He tried to
standing.
go for him.
Familiar
He got
station
him.
that
He
he's
got
already
Virgo.
ready for.
He's
Big
getting
knock
beat.
on
Peter Bot
Virgo.
dead.
Tries to go for the back-to-back.
Ager's
The
still
one
alive.
ends. Top 6 for them.
What's
Ager's now
happening?
left by himself.
Acorn's still alive.
Acorn, Poyo,
Peter Bot
nowhere
dead.
in sight.
I got this
Looking all
dead.
around, trying to figure
In
out
the
where
chat,
he can try to
Yamzo
make
does
this
not
next
die.
move zone, moving toward the north. He peeks out for
Ryan
a second.
Booga just got
High ground
killed.
Puts a ton of pressure, getting to expand the build, forced him down low into that
Yamzo and
chaos.
Batman
Ager's
Booga just
trying to
got
play it
5th
smart.
place
He
and
doesn't
got
wanna
9
go
kills.
low ground.
Now
This stage of the
Ager just
game.
got beamed
No, I was
by
gonna say,
Skater.
Cole missed that it's there, and he is just caught between two
Sphinx,
teams.
Cooper, and
This is like it's gonna come down to Cooper.
now it's
Reveal
Muzz,
Sphinx versus our
Edgy,
high
and
ground.
Muzz,
Rise,
Edgy, and
Japko,
Rise.
but they're still
Not
OG
Edgy,
right
I
in the
mean.
middle.
They're trying to get their
Alvaro
first
OG is
win.
gonna end up
Skater,
doing here. They're gonna
Dash,
look
and
to high
Alvaro
ground. Are they
G.
gonna
Oh, let's
kinda
get
sandwich their
Skater.
way down?
Alvaro G top.
Very
They're
limited
still in
options
it.
now.
They just got
go for
Yapko.
Japko falls.
Yapko
He
just
comes
got
down
killed.
too
Cooper's
early,
still
and
there.
all of a sudden now,
Yapko
anything
dead.
can go
One of them
down
from
here.
height. Dash.
Don't know why he dropped down, but that was high
Alvaro
ground.
G might be able to
Two
get their
worth
his
all
first
team
win in
the
grand
Sphinx
finals.
team
I don't know if he
down
ever did or
below,
not.
but the tables have turned.
But they gotta
Cost
be
them
careful
everything,
because they're
but
so
everybody's
low.
weak toward the backside
Cooper
of
tried to
They're
get up
trying
there.
keep up,
They're
but
trying to take
Cooper,
out
Badil,
Dash.
Sphinx down below. They have full
Cooper,
control, but
Badil,
they're
and
out of
Sphinx still
builds.
there.
It's gonna be hard for them to
Rise
continuously
has to
try
go
clear
down.
space.
Muzz is trying to heal
outside
off.
of zone. He's gonna try
Skater's
to
still
start a little bit of a heal off, a late rotation in.
Rise
doing
still
work,
alive.
but he goes down. The trio down below. 3v1 situation up against Muzz.
Badil, Sphinx, and Cooper take the win from the first place team. Muzz, Rise, and Ding. And Alvaro G got
Not gonna lie,
third.
It was looking like Muzz's opportunity to come back once again, and one mistake, one false move. Japko falls early by rotating down too soon, and all of a sudden now you crack
Yapko,
things
Rise,
open
and
for
Muzz
Cooper,
get second.
Sphinx, and Badil
Alvaro
to run
G,
one up,
Skater,
and they
and
do
Dash
just that.
get
What
third.
a victory out for them as
What?
well.
Then we
They
got
needed
Cooper,
that win right there.
Sphinx,
They
Cooper,
needed
Sphinx,
the
and
confidence boost.
Cooper, Sphinx,
Badil's talking about it
and
online. This is
Badil
feeling
get
like
that
another
juicy
global
victory royale.
championship
Game
level
4.
right now. Why are the games so sweaty? And just like that, they pull in a victory royale. Take a look at the highlights, though.
They
Jacob.
tried.
From
Batman
their
Booga
perspective,
tried.
It looked easier, I'm sure, than it felt. Not too bad for them to take that dub.
Not too bad at all. Badil going from not knowing who to play with EU to having a superstar team in NA. Game 4 is done and dusted. We can throw it to our analysts to let us know their thoughts.
We just keep going back and forth, guys. Every time it looks one way, it just goes the other. I feel like I have whiplash at this point. My gosh, to see Muzz, Yapko, and Rise come so close. But then Badil, Cooper, and Sphinx step up and say, hold on a minute. We are contenders. What are you doing? That is so good for them. And to see them get it, especially at this moment, right? We still have 2 games to put up before the show's done. This is momentum, right? If they just carry this, they continue this ball rolling, we could see big numbers by the end of these next 2 games.
That was crazy.
And I love that you say momentum because their first game was a little rough, going down in 17th place, and they've only been climbing up the leaderboard since then.
I don't know what
finally
place
get that
it is,
victory
but Clix
royale
and
has to
Clix,
feel
Yamzo,
good
and
for
Batman
them.
Booga, they
And
did
to think
clutch up
that
in
if
that
Clix's
movement. I think they
trio,
might have got
who
a
was
11th
sitting
place,
beneath
but
Badil's
Peter
trio,
Bot,
went for the edit, and then they were able to
think
get that
Peter Bot got
opponent real
eliminated.
quick and survive.
Peter had to go
That could
eliminate
have spelled
6th
disaster
place,
in the
but
end of the run for Game 4.
Clix,
But of
Yamzo, and
course,
them, they got
as
5th, so
Vivid
they
talked
hopefully
about
got a
at the
lot,
start
and
of
they
the
got a
show,
lot of
when they are on
eliminations.
the
So
low ground, when they are controlling the front of
Alvaro
zone,
G
it all
and
goes
Dash
their
and
way.
Skater,
Yeah,
they had
honestly,
a
not as many
come in.
eliminations that I would have thought that
That
they
was
would
a
have had in a
crazy-
victory round in the
Yeah.
finals, right? Like I would have talked about kind of like that momentum-based play style. I was assuming
No,
that
they
they would
only
have
had
just had more. But the way
only
this
had
end
7
game kind of
eliminations.
played out, it was crazy because Yapko kind of dropped down, went down the Oliver OG's team, and then Yapko's body went down to the ground, and Cooper trio of what there was actually able to get the refresh, which was allowed them to go ahead and transition that into the victory royale. Crazy stuff. They get the win.
Man, chaos, my favorite. Now, with that being said, 2 games left to go before we call day 1 done. For now, we go to a break. When we return, we'll break down the standings and what we've been seeing after this this short break. So stay tuned. See you in just a minute.
I'll be right back.
Welcome back. Missed you, but now we're here again together. Game number 4 on the day of the FNCS Major 1 Finals went the way of Adil Cooper and Sphinx, which is pretty big in case you missed out. Maybe you're just tuning in. Great to see you. Hope you've had a fantastic time. We are deep in competition right now. So many things happening, and to see once again this momentum-based team find themselves a victory out is big, but we turn attention to the standings, and this is where it gets kind of crazy. Agers, Acorn, and Pollo are still holding down that number 1 spot. And I mean, Kelly, given like the situation they were put in, to still be holding that number 1 spot is like a testament to their skill.
I just don't understand probability-wise how Agers keeps being the only one alive at every single end game here. We had another solo clutch on him. It was a dual clutch for a long time between Acorn and Agers, but eventually it did go back just to him to be able to hold on for so long and still get a few eliminations. I mean, everyone has said it. Agers is an incredible fragger, and to see him still being able to just run through these mid and low grounds is so impressive.
I mean, this trio is just doing so well right now, especially in the eliminations category. That's their 3rd double-digit elimination game. They ended that one with 10 right there, which is pretty much the only way that they're kind of holding on to that lead right there. Because I was 100%